Guys, what's going on? It's not Friday, it's Wednesday, and we're live. It's 4th and Long here. We're just having a lot of fun. Merry Christmas, everybody. It's Christmas week, and we're here, so grab a Busch Light and let's celebrate. We're talking NFL, fantasy football, pick'ems, and we're actually doing something new this week. Talking NCAA bowl games, picking everybody from Oklahoma State to Florida to bunch of teams. I forget even who's on the slate. But we're here from the Silver Thunder Studios in Lebanon, Ohio. We got a very special guest. Lucas Chan is here with us tonight, the NFL editor of rotorob.com. We're going to talk to him, and we've got the guys here with us. So stay tuned, grab a bush, share this post out with your friends. Let's get everybody in here, and we're going to have a special contest giving away some shirts later tonight. So jump in, share the post, tag a friend, and don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. What's going on, guys? How's everybody doing this evening?
Doing great.
Good. How's everyone doing?
Doing well. Let's see here. Let's make sure that everyone can hear the group chat. Somebody say something.
Hello.
All right. Vodka. I like it. Everyone, Lucas Chan is here. Lucas, good to see you. Thanks for being here this evening. Let's talk about a little bit why Lucas is here. He is the NFL editor of rotorob.com, which is a really awesome website. Rotorob.com, good supporters of us here at Four Laps Down, and it's awesome that you're here, man. So Lucas is in his second year at rotorob.com, and he's their chief analyst for season-long and daily fantasy, and then he posts articles about it week to week, similar to what Chris Land brings us on Sundays at noon, right here on Four Laps Down. Lucas is the self-proclaimed defender of Twitter nerds, and he's jumping on any opportunity to attack the establish the run truthers. I'm going to ask you what that means, because I don't know what that means, but I'm looking forward to the explanation. Lucas is a lot like us. He likes fantasy football. He likes following stocks. I don't like following stocks. It stresses me out. Chris does. He dislikes Jared Goff. We dislike Carson Wentz. He does not like wasabi. No one likes wasabi. And his unique powers include the ability to pick the juiciest watermelon, and also that time he drank 2 liters of milk in one sitting. Wow. And tell everybody, Lucas, who are you a fan of?
You would die. Nathan, you would die.
Yes, I would.
I didn't even puke that time. And
You've done it before?
Hey, you know what? That was a great introduction. Honestly, I'm just a drunk writing articles, and Rob just puts up with me. And
you're gonna fit in so well with us. You have no idea.
Oh, that's good to hear. Look, Rob's a really good guy, and rotorob.com launched in 2006 and covers fantasy baseball, basketball, football, and hockey content, as well as video games and movie reviews. We have close to 5,500 unique articles posted on the site, and we were one of 16 blogs in the world that was inducted to the inaugural class of the NFL Fashion Hall of Fantasy Fame, unveiled at a fashion show in New York. And we were also nominated for the 2014 Canadian Web Blog Awards in the Best Sports Blogs and Lifetime Achievement categories, and was chosen as the National Sports Blogging Partner and judged for the Win Mobile Best Compensation Ever contest. So, now that my plug's out of the way, I got my Toronto Handy.
Cheers. Everyone grab what's closest to you that you're drinking. Josh is probably drinking milk or Dr. Pepper.
But he's not
Dr.
having
Pepper.
I know it.
Milk.
I know it.
We kick him, or
We do sometimes. It's
Yeah, we do crazy things here.
cheers.
So Lucas, obviously, I usually talk a lot about the daily fantasy and year long on this show. So, I will say that I just now found your site, but man, that's a nice list of accomplishments. Let me ask, and I just got on it for a minute earlier today. Is it a subscription-based site, or is it like RotoWire or Elite?
Oh, not at all. It's actually just
okay.
a free blog. We do run a bit of ads, but that's it. Honestly, it's just free content to people who want to read something a little different from Roto World or PFF, because like they're putting it behind locked doors now, and the content's actually not that great to begin with. So we're trying to find that niche in the market to just drive home analysis.
Well, I definitely will add you to my list of references that I use, especially how it's free and everything, because I just tell everybody what I put together throughout the weeks on Sunday, and I try to give a 15 to 20 minute just rundown of guys that you can look out for on that particular day. Not the obvious is like the Derrick Henrys, more like the Russell Gage. I try to find those guys.
Right.
Give them
That must have been frustrating, Russell Gage.
It was very frustrating because I talked myself out of taking him out of a lineup last week, and he scored like the first touchdown on Sunday. I'm like, that's the way this day's gonna go. But anyway, I had him in a couple of lineups, had a few shares of him, and I'm sure we'll get into that later on in the show. But man, welcome to someone like me, man. Your guest appearance is great. So welcome.
Thank you so much for having me on the show, guys. This is the first one I've done. I'm a little nervous. That's why I'm drinking a lot. And let's get to it, man. I'm excited.
Right.
well, there's no reason to be nervous. I assure you.
No need to be nervous. We're just a bunch of guys that get on here and talk about football and video games and everything else. Just having fun. So no need to be nervous, man.
When it gets off the rails, I'm usually the voice of reason.
Yeah, right. You're the one. Hey, you're the one driving the bus off the rails.
That's Ben Davis.
No, Ben's the one that keeps us back on. Yeah. Yeah.
Voice of reason.
Yeah. So listen, real quick. So Lucas, if you haven't yet, and to everybody watching, if you haven't share our video onto your timelines, and do me a favor. I want everybody who's watching from home, thank you, by the way, to go in the comments and tag 2 friends that you think would enjoy hanging out with us tonight and talking football, or just 2 friends that you want to tag just because you want to make their phone have a notification and interrupt whatever it is that they're doing. But more importantly, I want to take a couple of seconds just to talk about last week's episode. We were live last Friday, and I just want to thank all of our viewers. We had absolutely record-setting ratings last week. We ended up into over 5,000 people's news feeds just last week alone. We had over 1,000 different people tune in while we were live, and hundreds more once we went off the air the next day and the days following. I just want to thank you guys for all of the stuff in this busy season that you could be doing on a Friday night. I just noticed those Christmas trees on your head, Josh, and they're distracting me. Of all of the things that you could be doing on your Friday night, you chose to hang out with us, and we hope that you're doing it again. We couldn't do this without you. We have a lot of fun, but thank you to our viewers, to our subscribers, to everyone who follows us. If you're watching and you don't already, be sure to like our page, 4 Laps Down, and be sure to join us in our group where we talk about all kind of different stuff and post memes and videos of people shotgunning beers. That's called 4 Laps Down Nation. Make sure you join both of those. So with that being said, typically what we do here, as you guys who watch the show are well aware, is we turn it over to Chris Land. He gives us the fantasy rundown. So I'm going to do that right now. But Chris, I'm gonna invite Lucas to join you in this part of the segment and make it kind of a little bit of a back and forth with the two of you, since you're kind of our resident fantasy experts. So I'm going to start it with this. So Chris, give us a quick rundown of last week. And then I'm going to have Lucas do the same, and then we're going to get into a couple of start and set scenarios. So, Chris, what do you got for us from last week?
Well, for most people, if you were paying attention close to kickoff, as I was telling you right before, you had a bunch of people that fell off the tree, weren't going to play. You know, the Ezekiel Elliott was a late non-player, and so Tony Pollard became the flavor of the month on almost every single DFS slate because he was minimal salary, came in, and then he also had a really, really good game and he broke off a monster. I did get him in a few lineups, and I did keep, unfortunately, I kept Sony Michel in some lineups. It seemed more balanced than I really expected. If you watch my show, I could not have been more wrong about what was going to happen with the Patriots. I even told everybody to bet them as fast as they could before the line changed. Because Gesicki, Gaskin, like 4 people at 12:15 said they weren't playing. I was just like, this is, rookie quarterback against Belichick and all that. So, that was kind of my Sunday show in a nutshell. I gave you good players, but I definitely didn't pick a winner. The guys that were good could have been better. Derrick Henry, he was good, but they let Tannehill run it in twice and then throw a BS touchdown to someone else, and it was like they were working against Derrick Henry, breaking the record. And Dobbins was good for how much you paid for him in DFS slates and everything. Ayuk got in the end zone, and I told people to get on him. Some of my misses, thought Alvin Kamara was going to be huge with Drew Brees back, and he was average. Jonnu, again, nobody knows what they were doing in Tennessee with that coaching. So there's a few hit and misses. I told people to get on Dallas because they were properly priced, and that came out pretty good in FanDuel. So for me, it wasn't a great week. It wasn't a bad week. I still have my bankroll. I managed to stay in the top 50 in all the 50-50 splits, but not very well in tournaments this week.
Okay. Lucas, how'd you end up last week in your fantasy?
Man, you know what? In my main leagues, I already got knocked out. Injuries plagued. I had Kittle. I had CMC. But for last week, my main guy was T.Y. Hilton.
Mm-hmm.
And he absolutely, in my eyes, he dudded up. So I'll take the fat L for that one. Some of the guys I had from,
No, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. So some of the guys I had from last week was Antonio Brown, which did pay off because he scored the touchdown. I called it a wide receiver 2 touchdown dependent scenario. Another bust I had, Cam Newton. Really shocking to me. The Miami Dolphins defense, they play really good secondary coverage, but they're not good against the run. And New England is one of the heaviest run packages and most successful at it. Not that it seems like it, but they are very successful at generating positive RB yards. And that was a straight dud. Man, Cam Newton is just washed. I don't know how to say this any other way. Just completely done. I had Raheem Mostert as well, and we know how that goes. And just not a very friendly fantasy week overall. I think it was very top heavy. If you had the guys who absolutely went off, you probably won your week more often than not. Kind of a tough week if you didn't have the players that you have.
Yeah. So it was an interesting week. Obviously, at this point in your year long, most people are in the playoffs, so it's a little bit limited. You got to kind of play the players that got you there. But was there anybody, Lucas, in your daily, your DraftKings, your FanDuels, that type of thing that really surprised you?
Really surprised me.
Good or bad? That's always a tricky question.
Man, every guy is performing up to expectation. I would say Corey Davis is one of those names that's already exploded that I had in the bank. Pittsburgh's another team that I would want to jump ship on. Like James Conner, I wouldn't start him in the fantasy playoffs, even if he was healthy, even if he was averaging 20 touches per game. I don't think that offense can get it done. It's just a bad team overall, to be honest. And some of the other guys, like say Robbie Anderson, really solid wide receiver too for season long. Just hasn't really shown up. It's just really bad outings from wideouts, I would say.
Okay, Chris, what do you
got? Go
go,
ahead.
no, you go ahead, Jordan. Chime in.
I was gonna say, unless you've got Hill, Hopkins, and Diggs, like my wide receiver lineup's looking like. By the way, even though I stouted last week, I know I kind of asked Chris Land, should I stout Tanyan, Fant, Gronk in week 2 of my 2-week playoff game? I ended up going with Tanyan. It didn't cost me the win. That 30-point lead I built went up. I won back-to-back weeks, so of course, I'm in the finals now. But Noah Fant ended up outscoring Tanyan by, I think, 12 or 13 points last week.
Okay.
Yeah, but honestly, I saw Tanyan had 11 points, and I was like, you know what? I'm not even mad at that. I mean, I know I could have gotten 22.
Yeah.
Exactly, and that's kind of where I thought he was going to be, was right in that 12 to 15-point range. So ended up working out last week, even though I looked down and saw that we were wrong about the whole. Well, should we go with Tanyan?
I think
or
one
Fant
of the stats I gave you said that Fant was 2 slides ahead, but it was kind of close. Yeah, I think one of it. But the thing about you have to go with Fant, and Fant's going to be a good play this week if you want to go cheap and get off Kelsey. Fant's going to be good this week. They get behind at Denver. So they throw the ball a lot, so you get garbage yardage, and as what do you call it, quarterback in Detroit?
Stat pad, folks.
There you go. He's the same thing. Kind of Noah Fant might be that tight end these next 2 weeks because Denver's quitting. And
I don't know. I think Tanyan against Tennessee's defense is. I think he has. I'm not changing it. The only thing I'm changing this week is, like Lucas said, I dropped Pittsburgh's defense this week finally after holding on. So I'm starting Chicago's defense against Jacksonville, who pretty much just had Trevor Lawrence fall into their lap, and I don't see them messing this up. So
and Robinson is questionable, so that might fall right into your lap, champ. Good move.
Oh, exactly. Well, it's a one-win team going up against a Bears defense, and I know how ferocious that defense can be. So I'm excited. I'm playing. Fun fact in this fantasy league, I'm playing friend of the show Chris Paxitas in this championship game. So it's me and Chris over the next 2 weeks to see who the winner is.
Wait. How did
Golden Corral?
Yeah. Yeah. How does Chris Paxitas get to the championship game?
He has a
Baker Mayfield is on fire.
No, his quarterback's Russell Wilson. His team really.
Yeah, but Russell Wilson has not statistically done a whole lot in the last couple weeks.
Lucas,
the last couple weeks, but he's still been pretty solid throughout the year. And I mean, you stack up wins early,
I wouldn't have been mad if I had him all year long. But yeah, I'll take the L's with the W's he brought. But yeah, I've got some stats
about Seattle later in the show that I'm excited to drop. I figured
we
don't have. Oh man, who was the guest last week? Why is his name escaping me? I've got his face. Nathan, that was a you question.
The guest last week was Daniel Ship.
Thank you. It's not quite Ship quality, but I would say it's like Ship light.
Ship light?
It's not Ship heavy, it's Ship light.
Ship
had stats on every.
Ship is the bringer of stats. That's why.
He had stats about the Jets.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
Because the first one
hey,
to the next
how about them Jets? How about them Jets?
How about them Jets?
Yeah.
So all right, so let's move along here. Yeah, again, Lucas. So, there was a lot of hits and misses. Some of the misses that we, obviously the Patriots defense was a huge miss for me. So, That and I had them in like my DraftKings lineup, and they scored 4 points. And
Listen,
thought
I want to know. I want to know which one of you put Giovanni Bernard as your running back to get 2 touchdowns for the Bengals against Pittsburgh. Who picked
you could
that?
only play that in the showdown platform, so you couldn't put him for the main slate or anything.
But check this stat.
No, I shot the moon because I hate. What I do is I just go stupid on those and shoot the moon. I put McFarland as my captain and some other stuff in there because
Jeez.
man, those one game shootouts and showdowns, they're crap.
Anything goes.
Yeah, I mean, so why put any money in it? I put $3-4 in it, try to win 20,000, and like I said, I put McFarland in it, thinking Benny Snell might get, get Derek Carr or something, and then the guy that nobody had would get all the carries and stuff. So I went with that plan. It didn't work at all.
Yeah. Well,
but I lost $3.
Here's what I can tell you. The bet of the week for Monday. If you would have taken the Bengals on the money line and the over of Gio Bernard scoring 2 touchdowns or more,
$100,000 or something stupid,
plus $175,000.
I knew it was over 100 G's. God, could you imagine?
Hang on, what was the bet again?
Bet coming together.
If you bet, no, the line was plus 17.5. So if you bet $1,000 on it, it was $175,000. There was a guy in a sports betting forum that I'm a member of that put $1,000 on it because he vowed to give up gambling and it was his last grand, and he put it on that, parlayed it together, and it was plus 17.5, and he won $175,000. He said he.
So what parlay was this?
The Bengals on the money line, so the Bengals to win, and then Gio Bernard to score 2 or more touchdowns.
Okay. Wow. I know that if you bet money line $100 parlay, 2 teams, Jets Bengals this week, it only $100 would have paid out. I think $6,500.
Oh, really?
Over in Indiana. Yeah. So we looked that up and did the math on that.
Huh.
Wow.
I mean, could you be? I know we're gonna get to it when we go over last week's game, but if I'm the owner of the Jets and I was just giving Adam Gase to the end of the year before I fired him, I would have fired him the second he walked on that field for giving away Trevor Lawrence.
Listen, we'll get into this, but like we talk about teams that give up on their coach, like Houston giving up on their coach, Detroit giving up on their but that Jets team almost beat the Raiders. I mean, they were.
I know. We're gonna get to it.
We'll get to all of that, but like they're
they
still playing for the guy. Like I'm not an Adam Gase fan, but they're
yeah.
playing
But
for the
also,
guy. Like,
you got to think about Gase. Here's the thing: Ryan Tannehill with Adam Gase looked like he should go back and convert to wide receiver. And since he left Adam Gase, he's a top maybe 7 quarterback.
He's not the only one too. Like there's so many people who left Adam Gase and got so much better.
Yeah,
like
right.
And he's with the Jets because Peyton Manning put in a good word because he was his OC in Denver, I believe. And Jets fans, I can't remember who it was. Somebody, I think it's like Eric Mangini or something.
They were happy that they got him from Miami.
I don't understand. When they hired him, I didn't understand it. I was like, hang on. So this guy was mediocre in your division, and you thought like, oh hell yeah, let's get him. It would be like if the Vikings went and signed. It would be like if the Vikings got Matt Nagy and we were like, hell yeah, we got this offensive-minded coach. Like no, like you've seen, he's mediocre. Like he's a mediocre coach. And that's, I don't know. He's not. I hope he doesn't have a job next year for Jets fans. I know a couple Jets fans, and I hope to God.
Oh, I hope he does because you know a couple of Jets fans and they deserve it. Hey Lucas, so you live in Canada, right?
Yeah, I do, up north.
I didn't think you were allowed to watch the NFL up there.
So, are you like way up? I guess how far like from like the border are you? Are you like way in northern Canada?
I actually live in Toronto, so that's actually I'm 4 hours away from Buffalo.
Okay, yeah. So all right.
Is that where Drake was running through the 6 with his woes?
Yeah,
oh,
that was
God. Oh God.
He makes side north side. He makes sure north side eats. I mean, come on now. Anyway,
So going back to the Jets thing though, Adam Gase is actually really well protected within that organization. Even Sam Darnold came out and advocated for him. So if Jets fans are expecting Adam Gase to go at the end of the year, that might not be the case.
I think they're going to be disappointed. I don't think he's going to get fired at the end of the year.
Doesn't seem
but
like it.
that's just my opinion.
Right? You see all the coaches go down, and he doesn't go down. He's going to be sticking around.
But you have to wonder if in ownership and the front office, if there was that conversation of like, okay, look, it's week 8. We've yet to win a game. Jacksonville has. We're not winning. Why change it? Like, why risk being like the Texans or the Falcons, where you fire your coach and then you rip off some wins, and now all of a sudden you're picking 5th instead of 1st, whenever you have Trevor Lawrence, who, by everybody else's account except for Nathan Nickel, is, the next John Elway or Andrew Luck or whatever you may call it. So it's going to be a fun off season just if you're following the Jets, let alone if you go, across the league. It's always a fun off season, but it's going to be interesting to see what they do. I didn't mean to completely sidetrack us. I just wanted to give an update that I am in the championship of my league and, kind of toot my own horn.
You're
but
welcome.
hell yeah, I would say that I'm welcome for my incredible draft.
I mean, I've helped you put your lineup together every week now.
Oh yeah.
Sundays, so you're
every week, Chris Land says, Jordan, you got to start Derrick Henry over Leonard Fournette, and I say, thanks, Chris. That was a real nail biter.
I'm not wrong yet. I mean, come on,
Chris. I would say that if people listen to you, you have made some people some money this year. You've done solid with the daily.
I promise I have. It's amazing to me. I mean, I promise that I've had 2 losing weeks on daily. I mean, and I will, granted, some of it is I did learn how to put smarter money into different areas and 50-50s and multipliers to build that bankroll, where in the past I just threw all my money at all the tournaments, and that's a losing proposition. You want to come above the pay line on both, but if you come above the pay line on the 50-50, if you put up $50, then you get 100 back. I mean, you know what I mean? So you get your 50. So I mean, I got smarter on how to win money, but man, the lineups have been there. But my wife is ridiculously patient by the fact that we will ride around in a car, and she has learned like the personalities on XM Sirius radios now. So, I'm blessed with that side of it, that I have a wife.
Yeah, when your wife knows a sports talk radio host by voice, you know that like you probably have an issue or a problem with the game of football.
Maybe.
Especially an XM Sirius radio host.
Yeah.
I mean, hola amigos. She knows that guy.
Yeah.
I mean,
so real quick, I want to give everybody an opportunity to kind of give us your final thought here on like the fantasy for this coming week. Tell us who's your must start. We haven't really dug into it a lot, but tell us if you got any must starts or must sets. And then we're going to jump right into an update on the pick'ems. And we've got some extra games to pick this week, so we're going to jump right in there so that, I understand that Lucas has a bedtime, so we don't want to keep him up past that. So we're going to jump right into the pick'ems. And by the way, everybody here on the panel and everybody watching from home, go ahead and make sure you click that share button, share the video out to your group, to your folks, and tag at least one person who you think would have a good time coming in here with us tonight and chatting it up, drinking a beer. And my real quick take, I don't have any must starts this week for fantasy, but I did hear that Marvin Lewis is interviewing for the job in Houston, which excites me, except for the Texans will probably continue to just beat the Bengals every time they play, especially if Marvin Lewis is there. So, but I like Marvin Lewis, and I'm glad to see that he's potentially getting an opportunity. He should have been the coach in Dallas. I mean, no question about it. But they just kind of decided.
They want offensive-minded coaches in Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Mike McCarthy is a big name, but I don't see Mike McCarthy being there for very long. But it's hard to tell because obviously I'm a big Dak guy, as everybody knows, and it's hard to really tell what the season would have been. So who knows? But yeah, so Marvin Lewis interviewing down in Houston. Would be a big get for Houston. Finally, they have a coach that's worth a shit down there. So with that being said,
That might happen.
Let's go around
Just to add to that is, I think he and obviously Romeo, and they like Romeo in Houston.
Romeo Cornell. He's 187 years old.
Doesn't matter. They like him, and I don't think Houston's quit on him, and he could slide right back into his role that he had maybe on that, and kind of bring some continuity if they were to go the Marvin Lewis way. I think you could see something maybe work with that, but
yeah,
it's
to
a
tack
long
on to
shot.
what Chris said, I'm so sure Cornell and Marvin Lewis has worked together before. I think 2000 Ravens, if not maybe 1993 Browns. They have worked together. They know each other.
Yeah, they have. Maybe Washington too. Those were the three different little different teams that Marvin Lewis had worked with. So it could have been. Yeah, I think you're right, Lucas.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Chris, now that you're done with that shot, who is your must start for this week in FanDuel?
Nicholas Alexander Chubb. I don't know if that's his middle name, but I wanted to call him Alexander.
Nicholas Alexander Chubb. Why, sir?
Well, because he plays the Jets, and that's always good to eat.
Sure.
And their top interior defensive lineman is out. So now that gate just swings wide open for a beat down through the middle. And so I think that is your start of the week. I'm going to I don't think I will have a single lineup in any platform other than maybe Super Draft where I will not play Nick Chubb as my lead back on all of them. Cash games, 50-50, all of it. I think he's going to just have a monster day.
Okay. So, Jordan, who's your must start?
Jalen Hurts.
I think
he is a sneaky quarterback. He's going up against Dallas's defense. Trayvon Diggs, their top defensive back this season. I believe he's still out. Don't think he's going to be back this season. That's a banged up secondary. I think they're having issues generating pass rush. I think Jalen Hurts showed last week that even if he does fall down, I think they were down 17-0 at one point. He can he can pad those stats, and then he can get it done. Not only on the field, but also from a fantasy sense. He uses his legs, had a really physical run for a rushing touchdown in that game. So I think Jalen Hurts is a guy in a divisional game against a bad Dallas defense. Well, Dallas is also going up against a bad Philly defense. I think this game hits the over. I think this game is a fireworks show of sorts, and I think he's a very solid stout this week. Also, just to touch on the ex-Bengals head coaching guy. Apparently, he's also rumored to be coming up to Minnesota to interview for a defensive coordinator position.
Under Mike Zimmer?
Yes.
Yeah.
You would love him as that role. I think he's great.
Oh, I would 100%. He
flip-flop him from Cincinnati.
Yep. Zimmer has been quoted saying he would give up his defensive play calling to two people, Marvin Lewis and his own son, Adam Zimmer. Those are the only two people he would trust to call his defense. I think it makes perfect sense, especially with Minnesota's defense having a down year. But that's my final thoughts on
Jalen Hurts is $1,500 less than Mahomes this week on DraftKings. So I don't know if that's enough to spread that out.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like a huge. It doesn't seem like the value I thought it may be.
Because
Chris, how about Trubisky?
Trubisky is 5,700. Do you think that game script plays in your? Because I've looked at him. I've also looked at Drew Lock a lot this week too, as ways to fade off Mahomes or Jackson. I talked myself out of Jackson last week, and I really am regretting it.
But yeah, you
game
said something
script
about
go your way.
Right. So here's why I'm not worried that badly about game script. He runs a lot, and they're gonna need to churn out the clock if they're up ahead. So he's gonna be taking those yards. I mean, Montgomery had 32 touches last week. He shouldered the burden, but this week, anything goes, and I think it's a little easier for him to churn out yards on the ground than it is for Montgomery.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay.
Fair enough.
I can see that. I mean, he does run the ball. Again, I always go from the top or the bottom at quarterback. So I either want the value guy or the top guy. So I could make an argument for both. So definitely.
How scary is this week's quarterbacks though? Like I know
I actually
who it
love a
was,
few, man. And there's a
Matt
few.
Russell, Wilson, Matt Ryan, they're all in.
Matt Ryan is so lovely at
spots.
5,800 right now.
Yeah, he's
Not
What? Hey,
not to let
Baker
you steal
coming
my
in at?
thunder. Not to let you steal my thunder, but Matt Ryan was my start this week. He's cheap and he's gonna
61.
eat this week. It's gonna be
I
great.
think so. His split without Julio is just horrendous, and
I know.
Look for Russell Gage to get in the end zone again. He has the right matchup against the right DB at KC this week. So.
And I hate that. We're going to be on. We'll keep track of that one.
I feel
For
like
sure.
me and Lucas are gonna go do karate in the garage soon. So all right, let's keep it moving.
Did you guys just become best friends?
we did.
There you go. So
I'm actually even doing my stepbrother's shot glass.
there you go. So Lucas, what else you got here for us for fantasy for this week before we jump into picks? Send us home.
Absolutely. Some low-hanging fruits. Antonio Brown, another one that you can start if he gets a touchdown. We're entering top-end wide receiver 2 conversations. J.D. McKissick, depending on Antonio Gibson. Now, I want to do a little plug here. Pro Football Doc, Dr. Chow, has been really accurate on the season, and I've been using his free content as injury reports. And he says it's unlikely that Antonio Gibson returns. It's that serious of a turf toe injury. So J.D.
Wow.
McKissick, whenever the split is down more than 7 points, you're looking at a great smash position against any defense. J.K. Dobbins is another one, low hanging fruit. T.Y. Hilton, I'm going back to the well again. I expect to get hurt as well, but Pittsburgh's Steelers defense, you move the ball through the air. I know last week was a little different, but this is one of the more consistent ways to move the ball against Pittsburgh's Steelers defense. And obviously, I have Mitchell Trubisky as well. I hate it, but he's in a smash spot, so you got to respect it.
So real quick, I want to just throw this at you real quick because obviously, Greg Ward has obviously became Jalen Hurts guy. Got another touchdown last week, and he's only 4,000. Is he? I feel like you almost have to play him on DraftKings at 4,000 because it seems to be the guy that he throws to in the end zone. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's a low risk, high reward kind of situation.
That's what you're looking for?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially in, I would say, big fields. And you want to have like one solid RB, one solid wide receiver or tight end or something, and have
against
really
Dallas.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think I've almost talked myself into making him a player I'm going to key, so I can put a lot of big names around him. So, all right, man. Yeah,
that's the special teams
awesome,
too.
guys.
Punt returns, kickoff returns.
Yeah, a lot of upside there.
Agreed.
Well, with that being said, it's that part of the show. We're going to jump right into the pick'ems for last week. And while we're getting that tuned up, don't forget, starting in February, we got a brand new show coming here live on 4 Laps Down. It's a live weekly show about our first love, driving hard and fast and turning left. Enjoy this quick promo for our new NASCAR show coming out in February. Nope, not it. All right, y'all. Well,
Hey, did y'all got to get a chance to check out the Christmas promo that Nathan put together there, guys?
Which one? At the beginning of
the
tonight's
one
show?
that we ran as the intro.
I did see it actually.
Yeah, I know you did, but I was just asking Josh and Jordan
No, I
because
haven't seen it.
it is money.
Also, no.
You guys should watch it. It is money.
I'll watch
I
it
sit
after the
around
stream.
Here's how a lot of nights work about with 4 laps down, just in case anybody's interested here. I'm just going to give you just a few minutes. It's usually Chris sitting behind a computer watching Nathan like get like the promos and the intros and everything together and doing all these different, setups that we did with the clothes and everything. And I'm sitting here drinking Fireball and drinking beer and just getting completely shit-faced. And Nathan's sitting over there drinking Busch Light, corn cans, and getting shit-faced. And then all of a sudden he'll send me this video. And that's usually about how things work at 4 laps down.
Mm-hmm.
And so we all should probably thank Nathan for the fact that as much as we drink and as late as we drink some nights, that there's even a intro at all. But anyway, Nathan, we appreciate it, buddy. Guys, he puts in a ton of time. I sometimes I sit with him because I just feel guilty that I don't do enough. But I mean, we get smashed and come up with crazy ideas. But anyway, it's just a 4 laps down thing. And thanks, guys, for everybody watching, obviously. So, but anyway, go ahead.
I wasn't expecting that, but thank you, Chris, for that. I just am so thankful for our fans.
Baby.
I'm just thankful for our fans and for all of you guys just doing this show with us. We are on week 16. We did this as a last minute. Hey, what if we did a football live stream and just talked about NFL? We all like football. Why the hell not? Before week 1, and here we are 16 weeks later, and we've got Lucas here with us, who has been doing this stuff a lot longer than we have, and a man after my own heart. He likes to talk about football and drink a lot of beer. So we're just thankful to our fans, to our viewers, everybody that's supported us. Man, our first line of shirts and hoodies went to the press this week, and we damn near sold out. We've got a lot more coming though.
We got Jordan a purple one, by the way.
We did. Jordan has a 1 of 1. It is purple, not blue. It's Vikings colors, and he's required contractually to wear it every day for the next 2 years. That was part of the deal. So
It's gonna smell so bad.
I didn't say you weren't allowed to wash it, you weirdo.
You just have to wash it every day.
If I wash it, it's bad. It's bad luck.
Oh.
Buddy, if you don't wash it,
That's why Delaney gets so happy when the Vikings lose, because I can change my undies.
Oh,
well,
Lordy.
And I actually am really thankful in this moment that we do this show by Zoom from our own houses. So,
by the way, guys, I don't know if y'all are interested. I have something working where, obviously, it won't happen this year. Next year, we could do a remote at a local establishment.
okay.
I'm working on a spot.
Let's talk about that after the show, and we'll work out the deets.
Well,
yeah.
I'm in the beginning parts of negotiating.
Hey, I'm about it.
I'm a masturbator. I mean, a master negotiator. I got
The Showtech Credit Processing Recording Studio.
Well, we can always do it at my house because the party never ends. I promise. But
Yeah,
anyway,
that's true. He has,
Listen,
he's got a pool table and golden tea.
I have real golden tea, like at the bar, golden tea.
Can we do it like the NBA on TNT with Chuck and Shaq and Kenny and all them, and like all sit at like a big table, and like Jordan can get up and run to the screen like Shaq does, and we can all sit there and laugh at him.
Can we do it like that? We could go outside and do a live remote around the hot
when
tub
it snows?
On the second level, and I have the TV over top of the hot tub, and every time somebody has to do a shot, they can just jump in the hot tub, I mean, it's a good set.
Listen, there's avenues.
Chalet in the mountains, golden tea.
There's avenues.
Hot tubs. Just whenever y'all want to come, just let me know. I'll do the cooking. I'll buy the food. Josh, you come. Jordan, you come. And Lucas, we'll fly you into the Cincinnati airport, which is 10 minutes from my house.
Chris, I'm curious. How old are you?
I am 48.
Are you?
You are
Oh my
younger. You
God.
are literally younger than I am, like in spirit. I swear to God.
I am 48 years old,
Hey,
guys.
Lucas, don't let it deceive you. It's the fireball that makes him younger.
Yeah.
Let's call it what it is. It's the
That's-
fireball that gets in him.
Welcome
He's
to the
so
gun show, boys.
Yeah,
You
right.
guys ever have a moment where you question
old
everything
do
you've
y'all
ever done?
think
I
I
thought I
was?
was hanging out with like a couple 30-year-olds. Like, I figured Chris was a little older than Nathan and Josh. So probably like
Chris has got
35,
back hair that's
36.
30 years old.
No, he's like, dude, you're like a decade away from being in a home. Like,
I'm moving to Florida in like 16 months.
He's not. He
makes
says
a
he
lot
is.
more sense knowing
Hang
that
on,
you're a
hang
72
on.
year
So
old.
let me
Who
ask
did
you
you guys
this.
think I was?
Hey, no.
really?
Hang on. We're gonna backtrack real quick. If you're moving in 16 months, how do you expect to do the show remote?
I'm doing it remote now.
No. I meant like, how do you expect us to have a studio that we do the show in? If you're gonna be moving to
I was
Florida?
just like saying live at such and such bar and grill in such and
Strip club.
well,
The Glitter
Well,
Factory.
hey, you know what? Hey, in strip clubs in America right now, Lucas, they wear a mask and nothing else. Anyway,
You know what? I wouldn't know, Chris. I would not know. I don't go to those.
it's a
stuff.
rumor that's going around.
Yeah. I've only heard of those places. As far as I know, they don't
I
really
have a
exist.
reliable
Yeah,
source
yeah.
that in
They're-
Lexington, Kentucky, the strippers wear a mask, but they're all nude from anywhere under the chin.
There are
Which
rumors
is the
that
most
sometimes I
ridiculous
do the
thing
show
ever,
the
and
same
it's
way.
Freaking awesome, I would guess.
Yeah, I've heard that, Jordan.
That one night at
he-
Josh's, I was.
He puts
I was
on his.
trying to.
He puts on his. Well,
Oh,
we'll save
Viking
that for when
logo.
we'll save that for when El Viking Lucha makes an appearance later today. We'll make that joke again. So I want to catch up.
He's not here right now.
I want to catch up on the chat real quick. I want to thank some people for tuning in. We've got Jack Day here who's telling us to please stop talking about the Vikings. He came here to get away from Vikings talk. Jack Day, of course, is Jordan's co-host on Load the Box, a Minnesota Vikings podcast powered by Manscaped, part of the Purple People Territory Eaters Big Head
Purple
Network.
Territory Radio Network.
Purple Territory
Check us out.
Eaters
If you're a
Podcast
Vikings
Network.
fan or you're interested in just playoff scenarios, we are going to be doing it. We didn't do a show tonight. Jack was traveling, but we're going to be doing a show on Sunday. When the Viking season will either have some life still, or it will be completely over, depending on how Christmas Day goes. But we will do a show just kind of breaking down the Vikings year and also all these different playoff scenarios. So tune in Sunday, probably around 7:30 Eastern time, if you're interested in that.
Yeah. So I just want to point out that Jack Day was traveling and couldn't make his own show, but he had time to come in the chat on mine. So, Jack, thank you.
Well, his show was supposed to be about 3.5 hours ago.
Well, anyway. So Sean Michael, good friend of the show, says we should set up outside the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Sean, if you've got any connections, let's book it. I'm in. Want to thank Phil Hazley for being here. Phil Hazley, the godfather of the West Coast Hangout Facebook group. Big shout out to those guys. We actually are streaming live to the West Coast through that group right now. And Sean had a question. What about Juju's stats of the week? Well, I don't think anyone's talking about Juju's stats because I think that's the last time Homegirl's gonna dance on the midfield because he ain't T.O. and he ain't that big a boy. I'm just saying. But all I can tell you is this. And when that guy picked off Big Ben and high stepped out of bounds and drew the flag.
Mac Alexander,
and drew the flag. I immediately wrote to the Cincinnati Enquirer and said I'm starting a write-in petition campaign for him to be the mayor of Cincinnati in next year's election because I love anybody who, number one, picks off Ben Roethlisberger, number two, high steps out of bounds, and number three, draws the flag because that is a taste of Pittsburgh's own medicine, and I'm here for it, y'all. I'm here for it. Mac, thanks for giving me a great laugh and letting me enjoy that game.
Shut, what the hit wasn't good enough.
What's that?
He didn't get his jaw wired shut. The hit wasn't good enough.
Oh man, you're brutal.
Well,
Ford hit a Bengals player so bad.
yeah, but that's because Keith Rivers was running like this.
It doesn't matter. It was a peel back, cheap
I
shot
know.
under the chin. I hate the Steelers. I'm not a Bengals fan. Just so y'all know, I'm not a Bengals fan. I tried to be a Bengals fan. It's not worth it. But I can promise you this:
He
Heinz
said it's
Ward
not
is
worth it.
the biggest cheap shot artist ever.
Oh
And
yeah,
he
he's the
proved
dirt.
it that
Hey,
day, and he is the one single reason why. He is the number one reason why I hate the Pittsburgh Steelers, because not only did he do it, he did a touchdown dance above him. So to hell with them, and to hell with that guy.
I didn't know that about him actually.
When you're 48, you know things there, Lucas.
yeah, that's true.
It's amazing that all my buddies didn't realize I was the old fella.
Well, I knew you were the old fella. I just try to be nice about it, you know.
I didn't know you were already like in the ending stages of arthritis.
Wow.
Oh my God! I've said I was like in the car business for 28 years. What do you think I started selling cars at like 9?
They'll let you. Hey, if you want a job at 9, they'll let you. Yeah. Well.
But never mind. We ain't gonna go there. This is a family show.
Right. So Shawn Michael did comment back. He does know the curator, Jason Akins of the NFL Pro Football Hall of Fame. So who knows? Who knows where that'll go? But that's something interesting to talk about. So with that being said, guys, let me pull up the graphic for last week's games. We're going to shoot through this really, really quickly. We're going to update the standings. There was little movement. Everybody picked the same games except for I picked Atlanta instead of Tampa. Tampa, of course, came back and won that game, so I actually lost the game. Everybody else stayed the same. But our guest last week, Daniel Shipp, he had him a whale of a day, y'all. He had a nice day. He ate well. He picked the Bengals correctly. He picked the Cowboys correctly. He picked the Bears correctly. He only missed 2 games last week.
That was pretty.
It's pretty impressive.
I know that he only picked the
Oh
Bengals
my
as
gosh!
a joke.
So you know
Still.
what that means. You know what that means, Jordan.
Does that mean?
And Josh.
That Nathan's
that
now 5 back of you.
Guest now has as many wins as our loving producer, team leader, front man extraordinaire.
I hate every one of you and everything.
You know, and honestly,
and he did it in 11 games.
And if you're looking at the screen right now, if you're looking at the screen, that's what I was about to say, Chris Land. Nathan, I think he kept himself up there because the guest is not in contention to eat the chip, so he wanted to share the chips. But
Correct.
Nathan is in dead last when it comes to winning percentage right now. Nathan is the only name up there, including guest, that is sub 60%.
So, Lucas, I know you're new to the show. Have you ever heard of the one chip challenge?
No, I haven't. Is that the super spicy chip?
Yes, it comes in and it's in a box, and I can't reach it
because that is shaped like a coffin.
It is shaped like a coffin.
It made Shaquille O'Neal cry.
Yes.
Yeah, but he's soft as baby skin.
With milk.
Yeah,
anyway, so between Nathan, myself, Jordan, and Josh, whoever comes in last in these standings has to eat the chip.
Mm-hmm.
So Nathan seems like he is bound and determined to prove that it isn't hot. So we're gonna let him do it and continue. He is getting ready to make the most outrageous picks for the next 2 weeks, and it is going to be either awesome.
Because you guys decided to cheat and add college football into the mix.
Listen.
No.
He has now rigged the election. He has now rigged the game. He has rigged the game to now, we're going to pick college games because we haven't done that at all this year.
All right. Hold on.
College games.
Hold
so
on.
Nathan can try and make a comeback.
Hold
That's
on.
what happened here.
Hold on.
Rigged.
We shall let it be known.
Rigged.
We shall let it be known that we did a group vote. Do we pick college games and make them count? And it was a 3-1 vote.
Listen, I don't know what group you voted with, if you got a mouse in your pocket or a frog.
You called us and said, hey, so we were thinking about picking college games since the NFL is going to be getting Boeing here soon. are you guys okay with that? And I was like, I don't think it should count towards the chip standings, like, because, it's an NFL show, and I don't follow college that closely.
I said,
you were
and
like,
I
well, no,
quote,
it has to count towards the chip.
I said, and I quote, let's take a group vote on it. And Josh said, I'm in. And Chris said, I'm in. And I said, I'm in.
I'm always in. I've never seen a bet I don't like.
So, Jordan, get dunked on, weenie.
That's all right. When you still eat the chip, it'll just go to show that you know nothing about football and that you are indeed the weenie.
Listen.
And
Listen.
I'm going to get you a custom T-shirt that has a tortilla chip, and it's going to just say, I'm a weenie.
I enjoy the fact that of the many words that you mispronounce, tortilla is not one of them.
Tortilla.
Tortilla. Y'all are wild.
And Holly hates the fact I call them quesadillas.
Yeah, I it is what it is. But
I really want to see Chris lose. I really want to see.
Chris is not losing. Chris has been playing.
Lucas, you're welcome back anytime. Anytime.
You know what, dude? I do not have to be the fastest.
This guy.
I just need to not be the slowest to avoid to get eaten.
Yeah. So
that is the way I've been since like week 5.
So the best part about this for me is that I don't care if I lose. I don't have to eat the chip if I don't want to, because it's my show. And if I don't want to do it, I'm not gonna.
Yes, you are.
I'll eat it. If I lose, I'm saying right here, right now,
And
live,
What's hilarious?
live to the millions, that if I lose, I will eat the chip.
Do it!
Live on
I
4 laps down.
just have to say, Nathan, Lucas, what you may not know about spicy foods is that they say to help the bone, you're supposed to drink milk. It helps alleviate that boning sensation that you get from spicy foods. And one Nathan Nickel, his body hates him.
Intolerant.
No, he's lactose intolerant,
Oh,
which means he can't even help himself with an ice cold, refreshing glass of lactose. He has
So-
to sit there.
So this is where you guys are all less intelligent than me, and why I'm not scared of the chip, because the key is not milk, but the key is that what is hot is the oil secreted from the seeds and the peppers. And so the reason water doesn't help is because what does water not mix with, Jordan?
Oil.
Oil. So why does milk help you, Jordan? Because milk has a high concentration of oil. So therefore, dairy products that have a high concentration of oil, the oil absorbs the heat and pulls it off of your tongue or whatever. And I just want to let everyone know that Paul Hubie's in the house, and he's talking about Devil's Breath beef jerky. See, this is what you don't know, is that whoever doesn't have to do the one chip challenge has to eat some of Hubie's Devil's Breath beef jerky. So we'll see. We'll see who's crying in the end. With that being said, let's get on to the picks for this week. And so Josh and Jordan still tied for first. Chris 3 games behind them, and I'm actually 2 games. I am 2 games, or I'm sorry, 5 games behind Chris. So it's a
You
lot.
can still do it.
Hey, start picking the Jets, my guy.
It's a lot. No, I'm not stupid. Not stupid. So, all right. So what do we want to pick first, y'all? Do we want to pick NFL or college? I think NFL.
College.
College?
Let's look at them.
All right. So here is our college lineup for the week. These are all the bowl games starting tomorrow through next Wednesday. Don't forget, we will be live again on Wednesday of next week. We will be live again Wednesday, the 30th. So any bowl game starting tomorrow through the 30th. Now, here's the important part. While we are live, the final game that we're picking tonight will be going on. And that, of course, is between Florida and Oklahoma. So we'll all be paying attention to it. But these games do matter. They do count for the standings. And we're going to kick this off really quick. And Lucas, feel free to chime in on these picks. I'll ask you who you think. If you want to pass on one because you're not much of a college guy, no problem. But pick away if you want. I mean, you got nothing to lose, right? So the first game.
Hey, you're the guest picker. Just throw it out there, dog.
I mean,
You
I
could
came on the
beat
show
Nathan.
before realizing there was college stuff because Nathan started cheating. I mean,
Wow.
There it is.
Wow.
Hashtag Nathan's a Cheeto.
With
Hey.
the zingers. I love
Hey,
this.
it's rigged. I'm saying it's rigged.
yeah, honestly.
We
Stop the
are
count.
doing karate in the garage.
I hope that if Nathan's still losing next week, we'll pick in the Canadian Football League.
I'm calling Lucas for the winner.
Hey, don't let us start picking NHL games, Jordan, because you'd have to definitely eat the chip.
Hang on now.
You know, you heard me. I said what I said.
Do
All
I
right,
need to
let's go.
tone my
Let's get this
camera
going.
90 degrees to my
Next.
signed Sergei Bobrovsky
Next.
jersey?
Next.
Next.
Let's roll.
All right, first game is the New Mexico Bowl. Tomorrow, 3:30 p.m., it is the Hawaii Warriors against the Houston Cougars. Hawaii from the West Athletic Conference, Houston from the American Athletic Conference. Two good teams this year. Obviously a COVID-shortened year, but Hawaii bowl eligible again as always. Houston a little less than they have been in years past, but still going to be a good game nonetheless. Chris Land, start us off. What do you think about this game?
What's the spread?
We're not playing against the spread. The spread is.
I want to know what the spread
The
is.
spread
right now.
is
Houston by 12 and a half.
Lordy.
Houston minus
It's
12 and a half.
Houston. I'm taking Houston because of the travel and home field, but none of these players for any team with any future in football are going to care. So I'm going to take Houston just because they didn't have to travel from Hawaii.
Yeah. So the
We're not
spread,
gonna take-
so
Hawaii's better.
the spread, just so you guys are aware, the spread has moved from 12 and a half to 10 and a half. Still Houston favored, but it's interesting. There's a lot of money. There's a lot of money on Houston for the money line, but it's 92% on Hawaii to cover. So depending on how you're betting, you might want to rethink that. But I'm with Chris on this one. I think Houston wins this game. Houston's 3-4 in the year. Hawaii's 4-4. Neither of them really have any marquee wins, but Houston's probably going to win this game, and so I'm going to take the Cougars. Who wants to go next?
I'll jump in. Houston, I don't know a lot about them this year, but I do know last year they had De'Aaron King as their quarterback, and with him under center, they did look like a pretty solid football team. I know quarterback is, the most important position in football, so losing him to the Miami Hurricanes obviously doesn't help him in any way, but the travel and just, Houston, I think, being from the better conference and overall being the better team, I think is going to prevail. Give me Houston.
Okay. Lucas, what do you think on this one?
Yeah, I'll jump in here real quick. I got the spread in front of me. It's minus 11 to Houston. I mean, yeah, that's 2 scores. That's too high. I'm definitely taking Houston over Hawaii. No
Okay.
chance.
Josh, what do you think?
It's a clean slate. Houston.
Houston. All right. Well, first college game of the year, and we all picked the same team. It's a good sign.
We're seeing it at all different numbers. That makes me curious.
Well, spreads move. I mean, I'm looking at the
I
Vegas
just look at the
Insider
one that I have
consensus.
if I was to make a bet right now,
Yeah.
10 would seem cheap based on if you were going to take Houston, because you're hearing 10.5 and 11 at other sites.
Yeah.
So, as somebody looking for an edge, I'm going to go ahead and throw 50 at minus 10, because that seems like the cheapest number. Go ahead.
Well, I can tell you right now, the betting trend is 92% on Hawaii to cover. So I'm not so sure that 10 points is the spread. Now, keep in mind, college spreads tend to be wider than the NFL. So a 7-point spread in college probably relates to a 3-point spread in the NFL. If we're talking money line outright, who's going to win the game? But
Real quick, I would just say this. How often is Vegas 2 to 3 points wrong?
and
They opened at 12. How often is Vegas 2 points off? Not very often.
more
And-
often in college than in the
But
NFL.
would you say that with a game going from they're playing it in the Toyota Stadium in Frisco, Texas, even though it's the New Mexico Bowl? So kind of Texas home game, and the line got slimmer. A smart sharp would say stick with that team, that home state team. Just saying. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm saying those are the trends that people who bet big money look at.
Yeah.
There
I
you
mean,
go.
you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But like I said, college betting is wildly different than NFL. Lucas, up in Toronto, what's the following like for the NCAA Division I? Is it probably not as big as the NFL, I would say, but what do you think?
Man, the following for NFL and NCAA is actually very small.
Really?
You have a lot, yeah. NCAA less so, NFL more so. We're all about hockey up here. We're just all drunk on maple syrup and playing hockey.
Hey,
And
do
They're
you
on
do
the frozen
DFS
pond there,
hockey?
bud.
Sorry, what's that,
Lucas?
Chris?
Lucas, do you do DFS hockey?
I don't. I only do football. I just don't understand other
Yeah, me
sports.
either. I've tried. I've wanted to learn. That's why I was
Yeah.
thinking I may have found me an in. What about like DFS baseball? 'Cause you
No.
have
Yeah,
no.
I don't. I'm specifically football. I can't do anything in any other sort of fields.
What about Roto Rob as a site though? Do they give explanations and information on those?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
We have a couple of freelance writers, and Rob himself writes. He's huge basketball and baseball fan, and I do football, so
Okay.
kind of married in that profession.
Okay. Cool. All right, man. I was just wondering
Yeah.
because I need an in because before I put money in on that stuff that on hockey and stuff like that. So okay.
yeah. So I want to catch up with the chat real quick. We got Sam Johnson in here saying Lucas is an arsonist. I'm sure there's a story behind that. And Sean Michael is says that Houston is coached by the second worst hairdo in sports behind Mark Davis, Dana Holgerson, and he's not wrong. He is not wrong, y'all.
Mark Davis is terrible.
He's the worst. Dana Holgerson's second. Sam Johnson says, "Does Lucas do Salem?" I don't know what Salem is.
This is one of my friends, but you know what? Salem
trolling you?
He is trolling me, but you know
Good.
what?
We love
My
trolls.
understanding is that when he says Salem, I think of the passing concept in football. So you know what? We are doing Salem.
Yeah, very good, very good. So, the next game on our slate here is Buffalo against Marshall. The Buffalo Bulls, not the Bills, the Buffalo Bulls versus the Marshall Thundering Herd, Pride of West Virginia. It's the Camellia Bowl in Montgomery, Alabama. 2:30 on Christmas Day. It's the lone game on Christmas Day. Hawaii Houston, the lone game tomorrow on the 24th. Now, this one's an interesting matchup here. Okay, this is interesting because the line is very close. It opened at Buffalo -1. It has moved, according to the Vegas Insider consensus, to -4.5. And the money action on the spread is an even 50-50, but 79% taking Buffalo on the money line. Chris, what do you think about this one?
I went first last time. If you could give me a second, that'd be great.
Okay, no problem. I'll go first this time. So you've got two decent teams here. Buffalo, part of the State University of New York system. Buffalo is 7-1. Okay, they lost to Ball State. They were 12.5-point favorites in that game, and they lost by 10, 28-38. They have statistically this year been a high offensive team that gives up a decent amount of points, but a serviceable amount of points. They've got a win over Akron, 56-7. They beat Kent State 70, to 41. So I mean, they're scoring a lot of points, but they tend to be giving up a lot of points as well. Outside of that Akron game, they've given up double digits every game. They gave up 38 to Ball State. So I don't like Buffalo's ability to shut down Marshall's offense. Marshall is 5-2 this year. I'm sorry, Marshall is 7-2. Why does it say 5-2 if their record's 7-2? I got bad records in front of me. They are 7-2. See, I knew it. They're 7-2 this year. They lost to Rice and they lost to UAB, another bowl team. Would have been a bowl team, except their bowl game got canceled, so we won't be picking that game tonight. So I'm not real sure how to pick this game. I think it's a flip of the coin. But I'm going to look at this one and say that heavy money line is on Buffalo, and I'm going to say Vegas is moving the spread because they know something and they want to win money. So I'm going to buck the trend and go Marshall on this one.
I'm going to tag in here and say that you mentioned that they opened for Buffalo -1, and
correct.
They hopped up to say 4.5 right now. That's what I have in front of me.
Yep.
I believe Vegas had reports that Patterson is available for the Bulls. That's why the line was probably 3 points.
Okay, and that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
does.
he's moved to probable. Probable.
Okay.
And you know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I'm gonna take Marshall here. I think, just not knowing any background about them, I feel like they're more battle tested. That's the college that Randy Moss goes to, and their defense, they say
No.
yeah, right. Um, and but Marshall has a really good defense as well. If Patterson is unavailable for the Bulls for whatever reason, the line's going to drop back down significantly by at least 3 points, I would say.
Yep, has
I
to.
would take Marshall
Okay.
for the low upside.
Chris?
I'm going to take Buffalo. You have Knox, a running back, Beckett, a linebacker, and Ball, an offensive lineman, all choosing not to play. They're out for the season, and it shows personal, and that means that you just have people opting out. The only person on the injury is Patterson, the running back, and he is probable. And Patterson is looking for opportunity to show off a little bit. So, because he's a pretty good running back, in my opinion. I've actually watched them play about one game late one night and then a second half of another one. And he rushed for over 1,000 yards this year. And I think it's like 19 touchdowns, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, he had him a field day against Kent State. He ran for hundreds of yards.
Is that the kid that had like 5 or 6 touchdowns in one day or something?
Yeah, it was, I think, 490 yards.
Yeah,
Hubie's in the chat says 490 yards. That could be the stat. That could be the
that's what
stat.
I'm looking for. So I'm gonna go with the guy with the team with the best players. So I'm gonna take the Buffalo. I'm gonna take Buffalo Bulls.
Okay. Josh?
Josh, you're muted.
Yeah, I literally said Marshall, and then I went, oh, I'm muted. I'm taking Marshall because that is where Randy Moss went to school, and us Vikings fans like us some Randy Moss. So I'm going with Marshall because I know absolutely nothing about either one of those teams besides that. So
Fair enough.
Call Josh Nighthawk.
Jeez, oh Pete. Jordan?
I'm going with Buffalo because of the opt-outs and because I don't live in 1996 when Randy Moss used to play college football.
Wow. Okay.
Jordan, you
Kinda
continue
rude.
to amaze me with your intelligence.
Randy Moss was the first Vikings draft pick of my life. Fun
That's
fact.
true.
Keep telling Jordan that he's smart because he needs to hear that from somebody.
Yeah.
Kool-Aid, I got you, dog.
Love
Thanks, old foul.
Love
it.
it. He said foul. All right, so the next game on our list is one I'm actually excited about. I think it's going to be a great game. It's the Cure Bowl from Camping World Stadium in Orlando. It's at noon on the 26th, and that's where you see 11-0 Coastal Carolina, ranked 12th in the nation, going and facing Hugh Freeze and the 9-1 Liberty Flames. This is a great matchup. The line started at -4, has shifted to -7.5, both in favor of Coastal Carolina. But the money's all over the place. It's heavy favorites, money line for Coastal, heavy spread for Liberty. So the fans think this is going to be a close game. I don't think it's going to be close. I think Hugh Freeze has done a hell of a job at Liberty. Liberty, of course, is a title sponsor for William Byron and the number 24 Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports at the top level of NASCAR. So I'm a big supporter of Liberty, but I got to tell you, Coastal Carolina is a really good team. I think the Chanticleers take this one home, and I'm going Coastal Carolina in this game.
I'm also going Coastal, and it's bullshit that Coastal is not playing against an SEC team. And hang on, I don't want to get into the big ranking about the playoff because we will get nexted by Ben Davis. No, Chris.
Listen,
all I'm gonna say,
don't even
all I'm
waste
gonna
your
say
time,
is,
buddy. They haven't.
all
put
I'm gonna
anybody,
say
don't
is
even waste
if
your
they
time.
haven't, if they had like the 77th ranked
Strength of
like
schedule.
strength of schedule. Thank
Hold
you,
on.
Josh. I'm not saying that they've played anybody. They might not even deserve to be 12th. But if we're gonna take the college football ranking seriously, we probably shouldn't rank teams 12th and then throw them up against unranked opponents in their bowl game. We should.
To be fair, Liberty's 9-1, and Liberty was ranked from like week 3 until about 2 weeks ago.
I think they were supposed to play each other and got COVID canceled.
Correct.
Maybe
That's also
maybe
correct.
That's why. Maybe it's just a COVID thing.
Because really, here's the thing: this game isn't between two football teams. This game's between two football coaches.
Correct. But here's the thing.
Wins this game gets the juicier job next year.
Yeah, and keep in mind, Liberty is 9-1. Their one loss was to North Carolina State. They lost by 1 point. Okay, 14-15. Right. So they beat teams by scoring. They scored more than 30 points in all but 2 games this year. One of those was a 28-7 win over North Alabama. The other was a 14-15 loss. Okay, loss to North Carolina State. They held a Power 5 conference school to 15 points and still scored 2 touchdowns. They lost by 1 point. So Liberty easily could be 10-0 and right there in the conversation. And this could be a matchup of undefeateds, and people could call this the junior, the Weenie Hut championship.
Maybe we'll call it.
Whatever you want to call it. But either way, this is going to be a great game, and I'm sticking with my pick, Coastal Carolina. That's what I'm going with.
It's the C League.
Chris?
You know what? I have watched Coastal Carolina play a little bit, but I have not got to watch Liberty. But I do know about their coach.
Hugh Freeze has got them boys playing really great football this year.
And I'm pretty sure if they let them go to Florida where they have dispensaries, that he is cool with his offensive linemen.
Marijuana, just a hunch, but go ahead.
I'm just saying, he let Tunsil, smoke out before draft day.
Yeah, and that was before he coached. That was before he coached at a university founded by Jerry Falwell. I'm just saying.
Well, the fact is, they gave him the job after he was incriminated for contacting ladies of the evening. So let's not try to put them on a higher pedestal for that.
Oh no, trust me, I'm not by any means. I don't like Liberty because I think they're, Anyway, I'm not getting into that. So you're going Coastal.
All right. Anyway,
so Josh, what do you think in this game?
I'm gonna take Coastal in this because while I was in Myrtle Beach, we were in a local Dick's Sporting Goods store, and the gentleman that helped us in there was a huge Coastal Carolina fan. And he told us that Coastal was going to go undefeated this year, and they have. And I'm going on his word that they're going to go ahead and beat Liberty in the bowl game as well. Give me Coastal.
Nice.
All right, fair enough. Coastal Carolina, by the way, is in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. They have the #1 ranked golf management degree program in the nation. Fun fact about Coastal Carolina. I actually did not.
They also have a weird color field too, kind of like Boise State.
Do they?
Their field like a.
Well, no, their colors are teal and gold, so maybe their field's teal. I don't know. I haven't seen that.
I think their field's teal. I think it's like Boise State where there's just like blue, but I think Coastal's is teal.
Yeah, it is teal. You're right.
I saw a lot of people say that Coastal and BYU had maybe the game of the year.
Who won that game, Jordan?
Coastal won it, but BYU just wiped the floor with UCF, and the quarterback's going to be a top 10 pick. So
BYU was last night.
I couldn't tell if that was sarcastic at first.
No. They definitely were. That game in the first quarter, they figured out 2 plays that worked. That swing pass out of the backfield when they showed man-to-man. And, man, they gave up 20 a rip on that play all night.
Yeah, Zach Wilson of BYU. I'm bummed we didn't get a chance to talk about him. Fun to load the box. Jack got a chance to do a sit-down with him earlier this season. I'm excited to see, his draft stock continue to just rise throughout the combine and everything.
Jordan has a man crush on, what's his name? Patricia Fields?
Yeah, Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson. Sorry, close.
I think Zach Wilson can go #2 overall to the Jets.
He could. I don't think he will.
No shot. No shot he goes that high.
Justin Fields,
the Jets are stupid enough.
Go top 10.
The Jets will be stupid enough to take Justin Fields, and he'll be one of the biggest busts in the NFL history. But go ahead.
I don't know the exact draft order, but there's a good chance that Zach Wilson goes top 5.
Potentially, but the Jets will be stupid enough. Listen to me. This is not a prediction. It's a spoiler alert. The Jets will be foolish enough to take Justin Wilson, and he will be worse than Sam Darnold in the NFL.
Fields.
Justin Fields. That's what I'm saying. That's what I meant. Justin Fields. He will throw.
Yeah.
He will throw so many interceptions in the NFL.
He'll. I'm gonna
He'll be benched by
tone
week
this
6 if he
around and
starts.
put some facts and knowledge down. And Nathan, I'm agreeing with you. That's not a slight.
Hold on. Before you do that, let's let Lucas pick this game because he hasn't picked yet.
Oh yeah, I'll take Carolina. It's a home game. They're favorited and they're protecting a perfect score. I think they go perfect this year.
All right, Jordan, what were you saying?
Justin Fields has big time issues of like that. I'm the man. I never have to throw the ball away. I can make a touchdown happen every play.
Correct.
So I'm just gonna throw it out there. I don't know if he's throwing interceptions at the NFL level as much as he's just getting strip sacked because he refuses to get rid of the ball and he continually gets blindsided.
He's fast enough to escape most defensive fronts, and that's including in the NFL. He's a guy that's used to being so fast that he can't get sacked, and so all he has to do is just hold onto the ball and something will break loose. But he threw 3 interceptions in one half against Indiana, and I realize Indiana has a great record this year, but Indiana is overrated based on what they've done. They beat some Big Ten teams that were highly touted preseason that turned out to be hot snot, and I'm just telling you, the way he played against Indiana and the decisions that young man makes in the pocket are just mind-blowing to me. He's
like
tall is
6'5".
He's like
He's a big
6'4",
dude.
6'5". He's got the size. He's got the physical talent. He's got the arm. He's got the legs. So someone has asked me, so you're checking all the boxes. What's the problem? Well, the problem is that I could throw a bag of Iams dog food out there and it would throw less interceptions and make less poor throwing decisions than Justin Fields. This is a guy that's so strongly relied on his physical abilities, which are next level. Don't get me wrong, next level. He has so long relied on those that he's never had to work on his craft and his football IQ, and he just makes terrible decisions. And if I was his quarterback's coach, it would make me pull every single hair out of my head, some of the things that he tries to push and the needles he tries to thread, and it's just, you can't do it in the NFL. It doesn't work.
You know who he reminds me of? A former Texas quarterback that had checked all the boxes, but his football IQ just wasn't there.
Well,
and then he comes to the NFL, and we see what happens.
And I'd say I don't think Justin Fields isn't as good in college as Vince Young was, and I don't think he's going to have the NFL career that Vince Young did. So I'm glad he reminds you of Vince Young, but he's like the poor man's Vince Young, I guess.
You know what? I thought Haskins
was not that bad either. He was leader in yards per attempt, I believe, for a good 3 years.
Who, Vince Young?
Yeah.
Well, that's because they didn't let him throw the ball. You know, they made him stand there and either run it or toss it out or whatever. But
swing routes to Reggie Bush, which made that stat.
Yeah.
I mean, not Reggie Bush, but Cedric. Was it Cedric Benson, his running back?
No, it was.
Who was his running back when they won the national championship? He threw.
In college?
Yeah.
It wasn't Cedric Benson. It was the guy right after Cedric Benson.
I'm drawing a blank, but he threw. Vince Young's passing stats were really good because he threw in that flat route, and now I'm just drawing the.
Yeah, Texas had a really, really outstanding offensive line that year, and Vince Young.
Jordan Shipp, I think, who was in the slot that picked up a lot of.
Vince, they had a lot of good players. I mean, here's a name for you. Limas Swede was a deep threat for them, and he was on the next level when he was at Texas.
He got drafted, right?
Played for Pittsburgh for like 6 years and was a fairly serviceable slot receiver.
Man, I really don't want to ask this question. I'm not going to ask it. I can't. Oh, no. Was it Jamal Charles?
Yes.
Yes. No, Jamal Charles did go to Texas, but I don't know if he went.
It said he was there with Vince Young.
Hold on, I'll tell you.
But he might have been there.
I think he was an upperclassman while Vince. I don't know why Reggie Bush popped into my head.
Cedric Benson was there.
Yeah,
was it Cedric Benson?
Cedric Benson
was like a a downhill runner, but he had.
No, Said
Benson
Benson.
and Charles were the
Said
two guys.
Said Benson was a feature back when he was at Texas, and he was a dog. I mean, he was
think
a
Cedric
dog.
Benson was with Colt McCoy more than he was with Vince Young. But I'm not positive. Let's just move forward. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we gotta get these picks going. We picked like 2 college games. Good God Almighty!
You seem
picked
sleepy.
3, so-
I'm very.
Are you getting your
Did-
blankie out, honey?
Did you say that UAB got canceled, Nathan?
Yes, the next game, South Carolina UAB, is canceled, so we're going to skip that. And by the way, Cedric Benson was gone. It was Jamal Charles' freshman year. They had. Where are the stats? Hold on.
Just look at receiving stats for that championship year.
I'm trying. Hold on.
It'd be the running back.
Yeah, because their leading rusher was Vince Young. He had 200 yards on the ground in the championship game against USC. But anyway, moving on. Next game on the docket, South Carolina Gamecocks, UAB Blazers, canceled, COVID. So we're going to move down to the next game, which is the Louisiana Raging Cajuns. That's University of Louisiana at Lafayette, number 19 ranked Louisiana, and they're against Texas State at San Antonio. The Roadrunners are them. Interesting matchup here. I don't know a lot about either of these teams this year. I know that in the past, so UTSA is fairly new to the top flight of college football. They were down in the lower level of Division I for a long time.
They're a move up.
They're up now. They've been up for a couple of years. They're part of the Sun Belt Conference, and they're 7-4 this year. Louisiana's 9-1. They're ranked. They actually are. They're one of the teams that beat Iowa State. They beat them in the first week, and so they really kind of made a name for themselves. They did lose to Coastal Carolina, but only by 3 points. So that was their one loss this year, is to undefeated Coastal. So I mean, they're a good ball club. I really can't see any way that they lose this game. UTSA is, like I said, still new. They have 5 losses. They got blown out to Florida Atlantic. They got blown out by Army. BYU, they played hard. They only lost to BYU by a touchdown. So I mean, they've played some decent teams, but this one's pretty obvious to me. This is a lock for Louisiana.
Me too. Put it down.
Louisiana for me.
Yeah, I'll piggyback
hang-
off that. Louisiana is spread too wide.
All right. Cool.
Hang on. So you have, is UTSA really 13.5-point favorites?
No, they're underdogs.
Oh, okay. You have it on the graphic as UTSA being favored.
Yeah, sorry.
Y'all good. I'm also gonna go with the Raging Cajuns,
Okay.
strictly because they make a hell of a dry rub.
Listen.
You're something else. You're something else. So the next game on the docket is Western Kentucky at Georgia State. Chris, start us off.
Well, my daughter goes to Western.
What's that mean? Are you taking them?
Does she play on the football team?
Or no.
If she's got your genes, hell no.
That poor child is not in for anything more physical than cheerleading.
Hey, collegiate cheerleading is pretty physical.
I know.
Hey,
We paid for multiple.
Who's favored?
Georgia State
About
-4.
3.5. You know what?
Western Kentucky, put me down.
I'm going to take Western too. Go ahead.
My girlfriend would kick my ass if I don't take the Kentucky team. So give me Western Kentucky. Give me
Go ahead,
the team
Nathan.
from
This is
Kentucky.
Go ahead, Nathan. This is your slide in, try to get a win game because everybody's taking the underdog.
Well,
yeah,
you-
I'm also taking them. I'm taking Western Kentucky. I saw them play against Louisiana, and Louisiana ended up blowing that game wide open. But the first half, they were
Great
pretty
story.
competitive. So if you can be competitive with Louisiana for a half, then I'll pick you.
You might be able to beat Georgia State that Nathan's taking because he needs to gain games.
Well, I'm gonna take Georgia State for the simple fact.
No way.
For the simple fact that
Oh boy, here we go.
Be honest.
They played hard against Louisiana. They lost by 3, 31-34. Okay? They beat Eastern Carolina, who's got a decent program. They put up 52 points against Arkansas State. Now, they still lost that game because Arkansas State scored 59, but they put up 52 points. 52 points.
It's not a bad pick. It's what you're supposed to do.
Correct.
Go ahead, take them, Bob. Get you a
It's
game
what you're
back on
supposed
Chris.
to do.
Listen, get you a game back on Chris because you ain't going to gain any in the NFL. So let's get these college picks out of the way so you gain a game or two and move on with life.
And here's the final point of this. They're 4-point favorites in this game.
Yeah, they are.
3.5.
And they beat Georgia Southern 30-24.
Wow.
So
Wow.
Georgia Southern has multiple wins over Power 5 schools in the last couple of years.
Are they going to have anybody go in the NFL?
Probably. And also, Cole Swindell went to Georgia Southern, and so did Luke Bryan. So, they're a good team. Yeah. Lucas, who you got in this one?
Yo, I completely agree with you, Nathan.
Thank you.
Mean, given with your position in the chip challenge, this is a really good bet here. I don't know why these guys are going underdog here. I would take the plus 3.5 and just be done with it. It's a coin flip, and you have slightly better odds on one side.
Yeah, Josh is going with Western Kentucky because he knows what it feels like to have a cast iron skillet up the side of his head, and that's what will happen if he picks against a team from Kentucky.
Lucas, my girlfriend, her family is from Kentucky. So, she's
right.
from Kentucky.
She's a fine woman. I've never met her, but we're going to give her the
yes, you have, Chris. You met her at the fireworks.
You did meet her at the fireworks. But you were about four fireball bottles deep and probably don't remember.
Oh, was that at the pool?
No.
No, it was at the
fireworks.
Like when that guy fell off the truck and tried to fight you?
No, that was Ricky.
Chris tried to fight Ricky.
Yeah, because if he would have tried to fight Chris, there would have been a fight. It wouldn't have been he tried.
Tried to fight me.
It would have been he did fight him and lost. But anyway.
He would have fought me.
There wasn't a fight that night.
And then realized that his elbow doesn't bend that way. Anyway.
Next!
So next game on the docket is a good one, right? It's a good one. We finally have a game against teams that you guys know. It's a ranked matchup. It's in Orlando, coming to you at 5:30 p.m. on ESPN on December the 29th. It is number 18. Number 18 ranked Miami of Florida against number 21 Oklahoma State. Now, before I get accused of being shysty with these picks and just being a contrarian, I'm going to pick first. And I'm going to pick first for the rest of the college games. So you guys can... I want to dispel this notion that I don't know what I'm doing. I know exactly what I'm doing.
Oh my God, okay.
So this one's interesting because Oklahoma State's actually favored in this game, if you can believe that. -2 currently. Oklahoma State's 7-3, but they pretty much lost to every good team that they played this year. They lost to TCU, Texas, and Oklahoma, and they got blown out by Oklahoma, by the way. Not a big fan of the Hurricanes. Matter of fact, I don't like them at all. But I think Miami upsets in this game. They're 8-2 on the season, and there's a lot of money going their way as well. They lost to Clemson 17-42. Obviously, that's going to happen. And then they lost to UNC. UNC was a good football club this year, but they won. I mean, they're 8-2 in the ACC, which is this has been one of the best years for ACC competitively in recent memory. So I'm going with the Hurricanes in this one.
I 100% agree with you for one reason. De'Aaron King, while he's only like 5'9" and 3/4, if he was 3 inches taller, I really think he would be talked about as like a second or third round quarterback that had a lot of upside like Russell Wilson did.
But Russell Wilson's not legally a midget like De'Aaron King is.
Exactly. And
but Drew Brees is.
No, Drew Brees is
5'10".
And a half.
He says he's 5'10".
He is 5'10".
De'Aaron King, I think, is going to lead. He's had a couple goody performances this year where it didn't look good for his team. I think it was against NC State. He led like a 17-point comeback with 10 minutes or 5 minutes to go in that game. It was a crazy comeback. I remember watching it. So I'm also going to go with the U. But I'm surprised that Nathan picked them, being a big Gators fan, and I would really be surprised to see that lady college fan, Chris Land, pick.
Thank you. It is a ladies' college.
I am currently researching every single reason why I can't pick Miami.
Well, go ahead.
But everything
I'm
keeps
taking-
toning up the Canes.
Listen, I haven't watched one game between these two teams, or of either one of these teams. I'm gonna go with Miami though, because why not?
Great. Love it. Lucas, who you got?
Yeah, I'm with you guys on this one. Even though Oklahoma is favorited by, favorited, they're not favorited by much, less than 3, according to the odds in front of me. And they play in Miami as well, I think. So
They play in Orlando, but it might as well be a home game for the Hurricanes.
yeah, might as well be a home game. I'm taking Miami in this one.
All right. Shawn Michaels says Hubbard's not playing and he likes Mike Gundy. He'd go Oklahoma State, but he's got to go with Miami in this one. Chris, what do you think?
Oklahoma State.
With
That's
no
another game,
Chubba?
Nathan. That's 2 games, Nathan. You can game on Chris.
No Chubba.
Yeah, if he's right.
I'm always right.
It's actually 3 because Chris took Buffalo with me.
Hey, this could get interesting real quick.
Especially when you lose them all, Josh.
If I lose, this could get interesting real quick.
Yeah, so I'm actually, funny thing, Josh, I'm actually not gunning for Chris. I'm gunning for you, just so you know.
Wow.
Me?
Yeah.
You're coming for me?
Uh-huh.
If you listen, old fat knees. If you think you're catching me and Jordan, you got another thing coming. All right, it ain't happening, bud.
Hey man,
listen,
this race is between. Vote on until Nathan.
No, this is between 2 people, and it's you and Chris. Those are the 2 that it's between. One of you two's eating the chip. The Hawthorne boys have been at the top the last 4 weeks. It ain't gonna change, even with your little rigged college BS that you're throwing in there. Let's get to the next game, and let's get to the games that count, not these college UPS drivers that are, playing football for the last time.
All right, well, the next game on the docket is the Texas Longhorns and the Colorado Buffaloes. Colorado, formerly an in-conference rival of Texas. This game is at 9 o'clock on the 29th. They are playing in the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. It is the Valero Alamo Bowl. You may remember that's where Terrell Pryor and Ohio State played some years ago against Oklahoma State. It's always an interesting bowl game. That's a really cool stadium if you've never seen it. But that being said, Colorado is very heavily favored in this game. They both are on partial seasons. Colorado's 4-1, of course, part of the Pac-12 now, and they didn't really do much of anything this year. But Colorado lost big to Utah. Texas is bad. Texas is really bad this year. I don't know that I like Colorado. I definitely don't take Colorado to cover the spread, but we don't pick spreads around here. We pick outrights.
What's the spread?
The spread's 9.5 points favored to Colorado. The over/under is 64 points, so it's gonna be a boat race on one side of the ball at least. I'm going Texas in this one. I just have to. I think Texas shows up. I think Tom Herman's got a vote of confidence from the AD there recently, and I think it translates to an on-field performance that's going to show that Texas is better than their record and that Colorado is not as good as their record. So I'm going Texas.
I'll go second. I've watched Texas play this year, and they are indeed hot garbage. I think that they should be playing Michigan rather than Colorado because Michigan is also hot garbage. And we could call this the old Rumpke Hot Garbage Bowl because give me Colorado. Quarterback for Colorado, Joel Klapp, would also be taking Colorado in this game, and I'm going with him. So give me Colorado.
You see these hounds right here? You see these hounds right here that I got in my hand? You know what they're about to do? Ba-bam! 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 It's Colorado.
Okay,
Texas sucks.
That was
They're
dramatic.
Texas is so bad.
They're terrible.
My favorite part of the college football season is Texas beats 2 no-name schools. They beat, like, Texas Christian State. And everybody's like, Texas is back. Is Texas back? And then they lose to Oklahoma. And then they just snowball into being an awful football team. And it's just great watching all these guys go into Texas and play and just hit the bam as soon as they score a touchdown.
Jeez. Okay, Chris, what do you think on this one?
Oh, Chris, sorry.
Jeez.
Lucas, sorry.
Well, I mean, it's just stupid. This game's stupid. can
Why is
make
it stupid?
argument. I mean, Texas, puts up 69 at Kansas State, but lose to Iowa State. I mean,
You know why that is, Chris? Because they're a bad football team. A really bad football team.
Yeah, but I could do the same things with Colorado, though. I mean, Colorado lost 21-38,
Yeah.
14 days ago against Utah. I mean, I could do the same. I can go back and forth. I mean,
Well, you got to pick one, buddy. That's unfortunate.
you know what?
It's
I'm just going to go with
unfortunate,
Texas just because I like Texas.
Yeah, because what Chris knows is that if Chris and I pick all the same teams, I can't catch him, but together we can catch Josh.
Hold on. I have Texas gear. If
I know.
I didn't move to Florida, I'm moving to Texas.
I figured you'd move to Colorado.
No.
We're not going to talk about
It'll
that.
be legal anywhere I want.
Lucas, what do you think in this game?
You know what? I'm going to take the upset. I'm going to take Colorado here.
No, Colorado's favored.
Wait, they're favored?
Yeah, 9 points.
Yeah,
All of us took Upset City, which is crazy.
You know what? Yeah, give me Colorado then. That's perfect. I mean,
Smartest
take
man in the room.
My man.
All right. So we got Colorado
Okay,
for
I'll take the
Lucas.
room. Good job, Lucas.
All right, so we got 3 college games left. We're going to burn through these next 2 really quick. Next one is Wake Forest, Wisconsin. 2 bad football teams. I don't really know how we have a bowl game between these 2 guys, but Wake Forest, Wisconsin, and the Duke's Mayo Bowl at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte. It's a home game for Wake Forest, December 30th at noon. Man, I can't.
Line.
It's
Wake
Wake Forest
Forest
is -7. Wake Forest is 4-4. Wisconsin's 3-3.
Wisconsin's -7.
No, not true. Incorrect.
You are fake news.
I am on the Vegas Insider consensus right now. Wake Forest -7.
If I can
Chris, are
get
your
that,
eyes-
I will refinance my house.
Wake Forest is -7.
They're +7.
They're not +7, Chris.
you're on sports.
Chris, are your eyes starting to go, friend? Is it time to go to the
I'm
home,
on
old man?
covers.com, and it says Wake Forest +7.
Well, that's wrong. I'm on Vegas Insider, which pulls from the sports books in Vegas.
-7. All right. Well, let's just go to a site where someone would take a bet.
Okay, go ahead.
And
Hollywood Casino. The old
On
well,
bar-
they
Fan-
definitely
on
would. They will
FanDuel.
take my bet, even though
On FanDuel right now, Wake Forest +6.5.
Nathan, are your eyes going?
Nathan,
Is it
are you
time to
wearing
go
those
to
damn
home?
glasses that don't actually have lenses in them again to look fashionable?
so I'm right, guys?
Correct.
Yes.
That's what Jordan said.
Yeah, that's what I see as well.
Yeah. Every other website's got the spread flipped. That's super egregious. Hold on, let me see here. Anyway, so Wake Forest, we're gonna say they're +7. 2 bad teams. I was gonna take Wisconsin anyway. I'm definitely taking Wisconsin now. What do you guys got?
I've also got Wisconsin.
Yeah, give me all the Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
So as my boy T-Pain says, Wisconsin. So I'll take
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Cheese curds and stuff.
So, one thing that you guys don't know, the Lebanon High School fight song is Onward Lebanon, and it is to the tune of On Wisconsin. So, Wisconsin big. So, next game, Iowa at Missouri. Iowa at Missouri, 2 non-conference rival Midwest teams. I show Missouri -14.5. Let me check that.
Jesus.
Oh.
2 tutties?
Oh,
The
yeah.
only thing
I got
Iowa
Missouri
makes a
plus
good
14.
offensive lineman.
Hang on. Has Nathan been given false? I told you, this damn college thing is rigged. He's given fake spread.
I bet
He's having
Colorado's actually a 12-point dog, not a 12-point
telling you
favorite.
now, it's rigged.
That damn
Just
Well, hold
the
on.
other things.
That damn Lebanon high school education forgot to teach Nathan.
Yeah,
simple
what the
addition
hell's
and
going on with
subtraction.
this? They've got
I
these
don't know
spreads
what it is.
You
flipped.
do understand how the
This is-
plus minus works, right?
This is rigged. I called.
No,
it
listen,
before the
I'll
show
send you a
started.
screenshot of what I'm looking at. It's plain as day. It's got both of these spreads flipped.
Chris, what does your spread say? Lucas, what does your spread say? I'll listen to you two over this clown with his Santa Claus hat.
No,
on.
the spread's 14 and a half, but it's
We're on
Iowa.
Iowa and Missouri.
Iowa minus 14 and a half.
Currently, Covers has Iowa minus 15.
Yes, that. I'm going to say that's correct. So my graphic is
Iowa.
wrong.
Missouri plus 15 is what it's got.
Iowa because they're favored by 2 tutties. That's all I need.
Yeah, Iowa. They produce offensive linemen.
Yeah, that's an easy call.
So this is weird though because I went back and checked the coastal spread and the coastal spread was correct, but the last 2 spreads we've looked at have been flipped. So let me see. Not that it really matters,
This is how Vegas gets their money. We
right?
better start
Thank
talking
you.
about this conspiracy before we get silenced.
So if I'm looking at the
Dead bodies buried in the desert.
yeah, so the Texas Colorado spread is flipped on my end too. So it's Texas minus 12.
Wait, is it really?
Yeah, it really is.
See, I told you it's rigged.
Daddy
Give me
would like to
Texas then.
flip his pick.
Horns up, boys. Horns up. Let's go, Texas.
What in the world?
Who did I take?
You took Texas.
That's what
thought
I
Colorado
want
was-
to take.
I
Thank
thought
God.
Colorado was favored.
Thank God I didn't feel
now
like
I'm
an idiot.
now I'm
Now I feel
pissed.
so much better about that pick.
Horns up, baby.
Yep.
Give me
Hook 'em
Texas.
horns
Hook 'em horns.
Hook 'em horns.
Let's go.
Vince Young is the
Alright,
greatest
cool.
college quarterback to ever play.
No. He was great, though, for 2 years, for sure.
Sam Ellinger is a first-round quarterback in
Man,
my
if he,
opinion.
you know what? He
Texas has
has.
been playing great all year. I don't know what I was talking about. They suck. They've been playing great.
And no, you are incorrect. But, I mean, Ellinger does have an NFL arm.
Listen, can we go back and check? I told you this shit was
He
rigged
may have a.
from the start.
So listen,
Did
Rigged.
the UAB game even get canceled?
yeah, that
Are
was
we
from
really
a
in lockdown. Nathan, did you
Shane
get your
Ellinger.
lockdown
that was from a different website. Anyway. So the last 2. So listen. So in order to move on, that something's going on with this because they show the Bearcats as 7-point favorites and the Bearcats are 7-point
Yeah, I meant to
underdogs.
call you on that last
Yeah,
night.
no, but I mean,
Said that, yeah.
but so in my defense, Chris, I've used this website for lines for 10 years. I've never seen them. They just have
Be
everything
stupid.
flipped. No, they have everything flipped. It's like a coding error, and I don't know if they know. Anyway,
Good covers.
yeah, it doesn't matter. I was favored, so who we picking, boys?
Iowa, and I would also
Iowa.
like to have.
I would also like to
Texas.
change my Colorado pick to Texas, please.
Yes, you should let him.
I will. I'll let him.
I will take Iowa.
Okay. Jordan.
Iowa. I was picking Iowa no matter what. They make offensive linemen.
Okay. Josh.
End up being Vikings.
Iowa.
Lucas.
Iowa.
Taking Iowa. All right, so we're unanimous for Iowa. All right, in the last game, and I want you guys to tell me the spread on this because I obviously have some. I have the CNN of sports books over here in front of me.
Clearly.
Oops. Hold on. Okay, so we got the Iowa picks up there. So the last college game, and then we're gonna skirt right into the NFL here. Is Oklahoma and Florida. This game will be going on when we go live next week. It happens on the 30th. It's in AT&T Stadium in Arlington
-3.
in the Cotton Bowl. Gators -3. So my spread's flipped on that one too. Well, I like that better. I'll start this. I'm going Gators. I think Kyle Trask is going to get robbed of the Heisman because they're going to give it to Devonta from Alabama, which is fine. He's a great receiver. But it's just absolutely asinine to me that Kyle Trask comes in and puts up better numbers than Joe Burrow, who was unquestionably a Heisman winner last year, and he's going to get snubbed for a wide receiver because the guy happens to play at Alabama. It's ridiculous. Florida wins.
Also
be like
had
that.
to do with Burrow when undefeated and Trask.
Yeah, but here's the thing: is it about the best player or the best player on the best team?
Doesn't matter.
Listen,
It does matter.
He didn't lose to a bad. No, he didn't. They didn't lose to a bad team. Trask.
Guys, the year that Tim Tebow won the Heisman, they lost to Ole Miss.
We're not talking about Tim Tebow. You're not talking about Tim.
We're talking about winning the Heisman.
You got all
You said
of the
Joe
Bible
Burrow.
cover votes.
You
Also,
said Joe Burrow.
You have to think about the fact that I don't want to get into this debate because I agree with Nathan. I think Kyle Trask should win the Heisman because he's had a crazy good year. And
He's been the best player in football all fucking year. Period.
He's been a damn good quarterback. Now, the fact that he has a generational tight end help him out a little bit, I would say so. And I don't want to.
Who's gonna be wearing orange and black next year? By the way,
I wouldn't want to sniff him in the draft. That being Kyle Trask, because he is Tom Brady like in that pocket where it's like you better protect him all night and day, or else he's gonna get mowed.
Hold on.
He's not running away from.
Did you just say that you would avoid him at all costs and then compare him to Tom Brady?
Well, in his pocket, mobility
similarities. Yeah, his pocket presence.
But have you seen the throws that this young man makes?
Yeah, he's got an NFL arm. He'll go in the first round. He's probably going to go to the Patriots, in my opinion.
Love him.
And I think, listen, if he goes to the Patriots, he could succeed there.
Yeah.
I think he could.
Pitts
succeed in the NFL. I've just seen the
picks,
Vikings have a
guys?
statue for too long. I'm going with the Gators because I think that Kyle Trask should win the Heisman, and he's got an NFL tight end. And I think that they'll.
Who is not playing? By the way, Pitts is not playing in this game.
Yeah, Pitts is not playing.
That changes everything. It doesn't actually. I don't think Oklahoma's all that. They've, they just haven't been the same. I'm excited to see this weird blonde kid, in another year in Lincoln Riley's offense. But the streak of Oklahoma just finding a quarterback from out of nowhere and turning him into the number 1 overall pick ended. So I like Florida. I like Florida a lot in this game.
I'm going to take Florida in this as well. They've had one bad loss all year to that LSU team. That's bad.
Yeah, and truthfully, it's one penalty away from not being a loss. So, I mean, yeah, they shouldn't have never let LSU in that game. But, guys, it's the SEC. LSU.
What do we say about ifs?
If ifs had dicks, they would be transgenders. I don't know.
Yeah, wow, give me Florida. Florida in this game. I don't. It's Chris. Are you going to be the lone wolf and go out and take Oklahoma?
Nope.
Well, Lucas hasn't picked yet.
I'm going to go with Oklahoma here. I might not know enough about college football, but man, like Kyle Pitts, you can do without his receiving, but is it his blocking that's really good? There are questions that I want to ask, and
it's all of it. He does all of it really well. He's a generational tight end. Jordan said it best.
Right. So taking a cog out like that is serious for me. I'll take Oklahoma. I'll do the upset train.
Okay, fair enough. Well, there you have it, folks.
I can't help but notice that my Colorado has not been changed to a Texas yet.
Well, I can't help but notice you didn't ask me to change it.
I stouted the asking.
Well.
You know what? Can I get that changed as well? Because everyone.
Yeah.
Sure.
Listen. You come out and give them false spreads. It's a rigged job.
Guys, it wasn't on purpose.
It's a rigged job.
How is it rigged?
This is more rigged than the 2020 election.
And play poker,
easy.
So let's go.
Anyway.
All right, on to the games that mean something.
Yes, now we're on to the NFL games.
By the way, they all mean something. You slept.
Yep, that's true.
All
right. First
First
game of the week. It's the SureTech Credit Processing game of the week. It is Minnesota.
With every swipe.
And I'm not going to give out spreads, and I'm not going to rely on the spreads on the screen for this one, but they're probably right. But you guys can tell me the spreads if you want. Minnesota, New Orleans. I show New Orleans minus 7.5. This is, of course, the only game on Christmas Day. What do we think, Jordan?
Fuck this game, dude. Fuck playing on Christmas. No, and you know what? Here's the thing.
You don't want to say it.
No,
say
here's
it.
the thing. I'm still picking the Vikings because I think that the Vikings are still fighting for their lives because we're not technically eliminated yet. I really think the Vikings can win this game. No Michael Thomas for Drew Brees. Drew Brees didn't look that good last week. For some reason, he kept throwing the ball to Taysom Hill. So I guess that's their number 2 on their offense. It goes Michael Thomas and then Taysom Hill. It didn't work for them last week. They took an L. So I think the Vikings are going to be able to move the ball on the Saints. Not willy-nilly. I'm not saying we're going to score 56, but I do think Dalvin Cook will be able to get going. I'm picking the Vikings to win. But fuck playing on holidays. I hate it. I hate it so much. Like, it's so annoying.
I love it that they do, though.
Listen, I would enjoy
you know that
down.
we love it that they're playing after we get our belly full.
I would enjoy watching like a Kansas City play somebody else, like Green Bay. I don't like having my team play on holidays. I'm the same with Jordan. I'm okay with the football game. It's just unfortunate that it's the Vikings this year. Against the Saints of all people too. We have a tendency of being the Saint killers. Right now they're fighting for a 1 seed in the NFC. We're fighting for our playoff lives. We need a little bit of help. And, I think we're going to play spoiler to the Saints. Drew Brees did in fact look terrible last week.
First half.
Well, he looked bad.
Started like 0 for 9.
First half.
Never first in his career ever starting 0 for 9.
At one point they were ahead of the Chiefs.
At one point, the
Josh,
Jets were ahead of the Raiders.
You have to remember, Chris Land does base entire seasons around one game against the Chiefs. So it's,
It's because nobody else has anything else to base versus the Chiefs.
Well, yeah, but there's a lot of 7-win teams out there, Chris, and you're one of them.
I get it. I understand.
I'm going to take the Vikings just because I'm a Vikings fan. I can't pick the Saints. I hate the Saints. They're one of my least favorite teams in the NFL.
The Saints are your daddy. Lucas, who you taking?
No. Oh, yeah, the Saints are our daddies, but let's go look back at the last,
you hit a nerve.
Hey, just because you guys paid off the referees doesn't mean New Orleans can't beat the Vikings, all right?
Hang on now. If we're talking about paying people in playoff games between the Vikings and the Saints.
You hit a nerve, Lucas. I got you.
Yeah, I definitely
Don't be afraid of these fools. I got you, fools.
Prosthetic leg off and clubbed him in the head and didn't get a personal foul, and we ended up losing the game and losing the chance to go to the Super Bowl. Let's talk about that. But no, we're not going to. That's in the past. It was 11 years ago.
Didn't you tell me that referees don't lose games?
They don't. We lost the game.
Okay, so next.
All right, so next.
But if we're going to talk about paying referees off, then that's a whole different concept.
Look, you know what? I wrote a whole bunch of stuff on this specific slate. I'll give you some rundowns. On Kirk Cousins, you have Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen accounting for about 50% of target share. Really, really high. That's like Chris Godwin, Mike Evans. Kirk Cousins, not a bad quarterback, but his QBR is in the 20th, less than 20th. He's still having the same yards per attempt. In his matchup, the Saints are stout, man. They're ranked number 3 in pass defense with a DVOA of negative 10%, and a very good run defense, ranked number 2 in DVOA. So I think Dalvin Cook absolutely gets shut down. We're looking at a touchdown-dependent high-end RB2, and that's depending on his PPR usage. So, if you want me to throw more stats at you, Minnesota is 3rd in explosive run plays because of Dalvin Cook, but NO is number 1 in limiting that. So,
can I ask a question before? Can I ask a question? When we played Tampa Bay? Were they the number 1 rush?
They were the number 1 rush defense.
And then we played. Did you have them high on that week as well?
No,
did you have Dalvin Cook low?
I had Dalvin Cook higher than this week because
Gotcha.
It's Tampa. Tampa's a mess, man. You can't expect the same thing week to week.
Listen, my dad's been telling us that all year. He's like, even if you put Tom Brady in there, it's still Tampa Bay. Like,
I think Jeff Hawthorne said, Jeb, Jeb and Tampa Bay are a mess.
Yes, they are a mess indeed.
It's a big fat mistake.
I could see them shutting Dalvin down. I could see this game getting out of hand very quickly. I was just curious if you had the Tampa Bay defense as high as you did the Saints. So,
you know what? At the beginning of the year, I had Tampa as a top 3 defense, but not anymore.
I'm in against Dalvin Cook. Like the last time they played, against Dalvin Cook when we played him a couple weeks ago.
No.
Did you have Dalvin high that week, or were you like, hey, he could have a really good game this week?
I would err on the side of Dalvin Cook when it came to Tampa.
Gotcha.
Jordan would err on the side of trading Dalvin Cook, but that's a different conversation.
In fantasy leagues.
In week 3.
Oh man, I did that this year, and I fully regret it.
See?
Oh yeah, it's definitely a mistake.
Man, yeah, I got who did I get? I think I got Mike Davis when he was good, Gallup as a free throw-in, and I also got Chris Carson because I was lacking in RBs. Got crushed.
Wow, that's a bad trade. Chris, what do you think on this game? So Lucas, just to clarify, you're taking New Orleans, right?
Yes.
Okay. Chris?
I think the Saints are better than the Vikings.
You're taking the Saints because they're better than the Vikings. That is deep.
Hey, the Packers were better than the Vikings when we played them too. Man.
I get it. I mean, we can go back, and we have like weeks and weeks of.
Listen.
Hey,
What's great about the NFL is that sometimes the better team doesn't win. If you were to tell me that the Jets would have beat the Rams, I would have bet you any amount of money that wouldn't have happened. But it did. And then the Bengals to beat the Steelers, that's why you play the game. So I'm excited to see what happens on Friday for sure.
Yeah. So with that being said, I agree with Chris's in-depth analysis. I think the Saints are a better team. I think Drew Brees back is really big for New Orleans here. I'm not convinced that Kirk Cousins is a closer.
He just has the highest QBR in the fourth quarter.
I like Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's a bad
Cousins
quarterback.
is elite.
No, he's not elite. He's also not a bad quarterback. He doesn't deserve the hate that he gets from Jordan and Jack. But that being said,
he doesn't. No, that's not. He gets the hate he gets from Jordan and Jack because of the size of his contract. He's well overpaid.
I don't care.
So anyway,
Who gives a shit about that? By the way,
Yeah,
that's
who
where
leads
your
in
ignorance
EPA?
comes in to football fans.
You know who
Because when they
led
flip
most
the
in the
coin
EPA
and they
during
blow the whistle at the end of the fourth quarter, it doesn't matter what the check is.
Well, it kind of does because
So
that
if your team
determines
sucks,
how many people you can keep.
hold on. If your team sucks, that's because your team chose to pay a subpar player that much.
Listen,
That doesn't
we're gonna
mean
have this.
anything
We're gonna have
on
this
that
conversation.
player.
We're gonna have this conversation in 5 years when we're still doing this show, and the Chiefs are a mess because they're all wrapped up in Patrick Mahomes, and he
Okay,
doesn't
great.
have weapons to throw to. And then everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, Patrick Mahomes was elite.
Let
What
me ask you a
happened?"
question. Let me just ask you one question, and this is where that argument goes to shit. I'm just going to tell you, if Minnesota was to win a Super Bowl this year, no matter how many contracts you wasted to get it, would you be okay with it, Josh and Jordan?
Well,
If the
yeah,
Vikings
but I
win a
don't see
Super
that
Bowl,
happening with
I don't
Cousins.
want to hear what I see happening.
Okay, if
I
the
don't
Jets
wanna
win a Super Bowl
hear
this year
if
with
the
Sam Darnold, do they
Vikings win
draft
the
Trevor
Super Bowl.
Lawrence?
well, no, because Trevor Lawrence is going to go number 1, and the Super Bowl champions pick
Hold on.
last.
You're missing the point.
Well, in this fantasy land, we can do
Would
whatever
you
we want. Nathan.
would you in Vikings heaven, with all your good and bad contracts of what it goes with, going from next year on, if you could get a ring this year, would you be okay with it?
The point that he's trying to make, Jordan, is your issue.
What he's saying is,
Hold on.
Shh.
Hold on. The issue, what Chris is trying to point out, that Chris likes to talk around things instead of hit you straight in the mouth with them. You feel that way, not because you're mad at the contract, but because you don't think Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback. You might not say
I
it,
don't think he can get you a ring.
but if you thought
don't.
Kirk Cousins was the quarterback, you would be okay with the contract. When people say Joey Votto's contract is too big, guess what? Joey Votto is an elite hitter even today when he's healthy. even today,
If the
when
Reds
he's healthy.
win a World Series, then you don't give a shit about Joey Votto.
Correct. So to Chris's point, you only feel that Kirk Cousins is overpaid because you're not convinced that Kirk Cousins can deliver on the expectation that was given to him. But here's the best part about this, and I got news for you. I'm not a Vikings fan, but I hope that they do well because I don't really want to hear you two bellyache all the time, frankly. And guess what? Andy Dalton was good enough to take the Bengals to a Super Bowl. It just didn't work out.
Oh my God.
He was. We all know it. We don't have to argue.
Oh my God.
Kirk Cousins is way better than Andy Dalton. Way better. Not even comparable. Andy Dalton was serviceable enough to take that Bengals to the year he got hurt. If Andy Dalton doesn't get hurt, they go far in the playoffs. Hats off to McCarron. They go far in the playoffs.
I got a question to that.
Okay.
Who's the better quarterback, Aaron Rodgers or Kirk Cousins?
Aaron, why ask a stupid question?
Answer the question.
Aaron Rodgers.
He has one Super Bowl. Why doesn't he have more Super Bowls?
Well, because
my question is to you then. If Kirk
Why
Cousins,
does Aaron Rodgers only has one
you
Super
didn't
Bowl?
let me finish my question.
let Chris finish because you're an idiot, and I'll tell you why when he's done. Go ahead, Chris.
Let me just ask you this: if Kirk Cousins and the Vikings could get hot and win the Super Bowl this year, why do you care what Aaron Rodgers did to get his?
Well, that's not what we're talking
Nope.
about.
So-
You
We're
have to answer the question.
Chris Land, by your logic, the Vikings probably should have just kept Case Keenum whenever he took us to the NFC Championship
Not the
game.
logic at all.
But he was good enough.
That is not. You just made that up.
No, because you
Something
just
out of
said
your
if the
brain.
Vikings
You
we
didn't
got
answer
hot,
the
if we got
question.
hot and we
You
could have made
made
the
up
Super
a
Bowl.
hypothetical without answering the question.
What was the question? Because I'm lost on what the question
question is-
was.
If Kirk Cousins leads you to the Super Bowl, then why does that other situation of your
I was just asking who was the better quarterback between Aaron Rodgers and Kirk Cousins.
Chris,
cares?
hang on, let me answer
You only
Chris's
have to
question.
win this year to get a ring.
Chris, to answer your question, one, it's an irrelevant question, but two, yeah, anybody that wins the Vikings a Super Bowl is free to play quarterback at any level they want for any amount of money that they want to. I don't give a damn. I'm gonna, we're gonna be flaunting around saying
that's all he's asking.
The issue is, it's an irrelevant question because we cannot afford to keep the 2017 defense that was elite because we paid Kirk Cousins so much money, and because it's a salary cap league, if you pay too much money at one position, you all of a sudden Xavier Rhodes having an all-pro season.
You underpay another position.
Hang on, Xavier Rhodes having an all-pro season. Had to get rid of him because had to get rid of him. Hang on, had to get rid of him because Cousins' contract took up too much space. We couldn't afford him.
But Jordan,
Mac Alexander couldn't re-sign him because we couldn't afford him because we didn't have enough money. No, I'm not. I'm not really that mad about it.
I really think you are that mad.
Where did the money go though? Right.
Kirk Cousins.
To Kirk Cousins.
To Kirk Cousins, his contract inflates every season.
His contract is in line with the markets. He's not being paid that much. The problem
when he
how I
signed
see
it.
Yeah, it did look big, but a couple of years from now,
Lucas, thank you.
It's going to be the same with Patrick Mahomes' contract too. 10 years down the road, we'll look at it and we'll say, "Oh man,
it's in line." It's in line.
Yes. So here's my thing. If you look at the last 20 years, historically, the quarterbacks that win Super Bowls are either cheap, like taking pay cuts like Tom Brady, or they're on rookie deals a la Patrick Mahomes last year.
So let me just ask you, you Viking fans, a question. Because you are obviously in the wealth plus situation at skill positions. You have Adam Thielen plus receiver. Jefferson plus receiver. Dalvin Cook plus running back. So if I put you a B- quarterback with all that, are you going to complain as much as you are now?
No, but I don't think.
First of all, I didn't start complaining about Kirk Cousins tonight. Kirk Cousins has played pretty solid since I started tearing him apart earlier this year.
You are going
but no.
It's yes or no.
Moving on to your
yes
question,
no.
I know it's yes or no, but I'm going to explain myself because this is a sports talk show and we're supposed to talk about sports. Moving on to the question, I would say, yeah, we would still probably complain, but you're also forgetting that we have to have money to build a defense around that B minus quarterback or whatever you want to say. Which we just don't have right now.
Within salary average situation right now. If you can't figure that out, it's not Kirk Cousins' fault.
I'm gonna say this, and then
Kirk Cousins has only lost us. I would say Kirk Cousins has only been responsible. Well, I directly said we win that game if Cousins isn't playing quarterback and we have somebody else. I would say maybe one game this year. He's had a good year this year.
Right,
he's legitimately he has shut me up this year.
He's actually topped Aaron Rodgers in EPA in times.
Enjoy where you are in the division right now because you're wrong.
I'll say this, Jordan, to your point, I disagree with what you're saying, and here's why. Not necessarily specific to the Vikings, right? But your complaint is that you're paying Kirk Cousins more than what he's worth at the cost of building a good defense. Here's why I think that's a silly, short-sighted argument. It's not illogical. But it's short-sighted. Here's why. Xavier Rhodes, all-pro cornerback, no longer on the Vikings, right? Going to have an all-pro year this year. Guess what? Don't care. How many touchdowns can Xavier Rhodes catch from Kirk Cousins? 0.
That's not
the point.
Can
stop the other
well,
team from
listen. Hold on. But listen. But here's the best part about this. Let some other team go build him a mansion and get in serviceable defenders while you build an elite offense around a guy who's serviceable like Kirk Cousins, instead of watching Adam Thielen and Jefferson and Dalvin Cook suffer because they have to play with Case Keenum instead of giving them something as minimum. As minimum as Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins will score you more points and win you more games than Xavier Rhodes will save you on the defensive side of the ball. I promise you right now, a high-powered offense in today's NFL far outweighs an elite defense. The 2000 Ravens don't exist anymore. They don't exist. You cannot win.
The elite teams now.
You cannot win a Super Bowl. You cannot win a Super Bowl with Trent Dilfer and a bunch of dogs on defense anymore. It doesn't exist. And the Vikings have been building as an offensive team for the last couple of years. I understand that Mike Zimmer's a defensive coach. He will help pick up some of that slack with the development of some of these guys that they draft and bring in. But if you think for a second that you'd be better off keeping Xavier Rhodes and being stuck with a Case Keenum or, God forbid, a washed-up Andy Dalton, you're wrong. You're wrong.
Then I would say that the issue is with coaching, which if you listen to
the issue is coaching
this season, yeah, because Mike Zimmer. No, hang on. Mike Zimmer wants to run the ball and play really good defense, and he refuses to open up the passing game until he's down 17 points.
Well,
every Viking fan knows this. So hang on. I would say the issue is either Mike Zimmer needs to open up the playbook, which we addressed. We were talking earlier this year about how if we're going to go all in on offense, then let's go all in on offense. And let's
You are going all in on offense.
Okay,
no,
we're
not
if
if
the
the
coach. No, it looks like
all
now,
money is in on offense.
Okay,
not
but that's
if the coach doesn't
issue.
open the playbook.
But that's a completely separate issue.
That's what I'm
It's a
saying.
completely separate issue. That
the most ridiculous
and
fan
also
base
I'm
of
just
all time.
No, they're not. The Bengals still exist. Let's not be stupid.
Chris, why is that a ridiculous thing to say whenever it's
Because
like,
you
yeah,
are
all the
elite.
Chris, I understand.
They're
Chris,
not-
We know this. We yelled this
Chris,
on
you are
Sunday. The issue is that our coaching.
Every three
Okay,
positions
but you're not
on
listening.
offense.
Chris, you're not
coach
listening.
is
You're talking
really
instead of
great
listening. You're talking instead of
receivers.
listening.
You
You're
have
talking instead of listening.
Maybe the 1 or 1A or 1B receiver, our running back, and you're bitching about your quarterback.
Yes, we're
that's
bitching
not.
about our quarterback because so those two ways we can
Listen,
bitch, and we
every
bitch both
team in the
ways.
NFL
Hang on,
can
Chris,
just say, hey,
please
you're a
let
problem.
somebody else talk, buddy. We're bitching about our quarterback, but we also bitch about our coaching because we can't make up our mind. If we're going to be a defensive team, then sign a B- quarterback for cheap money or draft somebody and play a cheap quarterback. Because if you're going to play that style with that coach, then commit to it. But if you're going to put all of your draft picks and all of your money into the offense, then commit to that. We commit to playing one style while paying and drafting a completely different one. We draft like we want to be the we draft like we want to be the Kansas City Chiefs, and we coach like we want to be the 2000 Ravens. And also, Nathan, to just bring up your point about how you can't win that way, I watched the New England Patriots shut down this prolific Sean McVay offense in the Super Bowl like
Next
2
time
or
the
3 years
Minnesota
ago.
Vikings
Yeah, but hold on.
of the New England Patriots.
Baltimore had
Let me know.
no offense in 2000. Zero. They had zero offense. Zero. They won every game on defense. New England didn't. That's not a great comparison. This is the final thing I'll say, and then we're going to move on because this got way more heated than I thought it would, so sorry that I brought it up. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to move on. You say that Kirk Cousins is overpaid, and then we're transitioned to, well, if we're going to be an offensive team, we need to commit that way. Mike Zimmer not opening up the playbook does not mean Kirk Cousins is overpaid. My point was this. Kirk Cousins' contract is market-friendly. You cannot sign a B-plus quarterback for cheap money. C-minus quarterbacks get cheap money. Backup quarterbacks get cheap money. Kirk Cousins would make what he makes in Minnesota on any team that doesn't have a Pat Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers that needs a good starting quarterback, and there are plenty.
95% of the
So the point is this. Kirk Cousins' contract is not relevant to Mike Zimmer not opening up the playbook. Your argument is logical that, well, if this is the scenario, and it is, this is the reality, that Mike Zimmer should in turn XYZ. Fine. That's not a solution. That's a different problem. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Your argument's logical.
We can
I understand your
discuss
thoughts.
now.
I understand your thoughts.
Let's
but they're
discuss
separate.
these games.
Yeah. So, next game, Tampa Bay, Detroit. Josh went to bed. No, he didn't. Tampa Bay, Detroit. Lucas, we're going to let you start.
Yeah, this is going to be an easy one. It's going to be Tampa Bay. As much as I hate them, the Detroit Lions are terrible on both offense and defense. Just steaming pile of garbage. Give me Tampa.
Fair enough. I'm going to go next, and I'm definitely taking Tampa in this game. Tampa's fighting for their lives right now in the playoffs. I think that Tom Brady's age is catching up to him. We're finally seeing Tom Brady look old. I wondered when it was going to happen. This is the year, but that being said, I think Tampa wins this game.
I agree with you, Tampa Bay. It's an easy pick.
Tampa, they're better in Detroit. Straight up. What is that noise? It sounds like a printer going off.
I don't know. I don't hear it.
It might be my washo.
That's exactly what it is.
Oh, I don't say. I don't hear it at all. So I don't know that the stream hears it. But anyway, we'll let Chris plug his pick in when he gets back.
He's gonna take Tampa.
I know, and it's easy for me to update it. We'll ask him when he gets back. Next game, San Francisco and Arizona. Now this is a decent game. I show Arizona -3.5. I guess I don't trust my spreads anymore. But I think San Francisco's just been really, really bad this year, and it's disappointing because they were set up to be a decent team. I actually considered them to be a top 3 team in the NFC. Obviously, injuries and COVID and all that. I mean, it is what it is. But I know I'm not his biggest fan as a quarterback, but I got to go with Kyler Murray and the Cardinals on this one.
I think Arizona showed last week that they understand the situation that they're in. Arizona currently controls its own destiny. They just have to win their games and they make the playoffs. It's that simple. So I'm also going to agree with you there that Arizona is going to win this game. Even though I think it's going to be really close, and I think it's almost a coin flip type deal, but I think Arizona's going to be able to pull it out.
Josh, what do you think, bud?
Arizona. Arizona wins. Minnesota is mathematically eliminated from playoff contention.
That's a good stat.
As much as I would like to see San Francisco come out and squeak this one out for the Vikings' sake, San Francisco's been riddled with injuries all year, and with the whole COVID thing, it's kind of sad to see because they were the NFC representative in the Super Bowl last year, and they had the Chiefs down, but they're not even going to make the playoffs this year. So give me Arizona in it.
Okay, Lucas, what do you think, bud?
I'm going to go with San Francisco here. It's a division game. To be honest, I don't particularly like the offensive scheme of the Arizona Cardinals. I think there's a lot of problems with it, especially in the run game and throwing to anyone outside of DeAndre Hopkins. Give me San Francisco for the upset.
Okay.
And just
I'd love to see that.
Head coach Shanahan, he literally deserves Coach of the Year for putting up with all the shit that he has and still coming out with a record like he did. Just impressive coaching.
Unfortunately, I agree with that, but I think the coach either in Miami should get it.
Yeah, no question to me. No question. Got to be. What's his last name? Miami. Flores. Thank you. It was escaping me. I started to say Rivera, but that's Riverboat Ron's got to be in the contention too. But so, Chris, you got a copy?
I'm back. Yeah.
Okay, so we need picks from you for Tampa Bay, Detroit, and San Francisco, Arizona.
I'm going to take Tampa Bay.
Everyone else took Detroit.
Yep, it doesn't matter to me what.
I'm just kidding.
I feel like I'm the smartest guy in the room anyway, so I'm going to take Tampa Bay. I hope everybody did.
We did. We all did. So next game, Arizona, San Francisco. Everybody but Lucas took Arizona.
I'm
going to say the spread is Arizona -3, but I don't know.
Game. That is a tough game. I think San Francisco is eliminated, and I don't think the Cardinals are, so I'm going to take the Cardinals.
Okay. And Josh threw out a good stat. If Arizona wins, Minnesota is mathematically eliminated from any playoff contention at all. So
go Cardinals after the last 15 minutes.
Jesus Christ. All right. Next game.
Hey, how's your Raiders looking in the playoffs there, Chris?
All right. No.
No.
All
right.
That's the patented Hawthorne defense. Well, what about your team that also sucks?
I know we suck, but what about you?
Hey, I'm just asking. We didn't almost lose to the Jets.
My favorite line is, how many playoff games have the Bengals won in 20 years?
Can you answer that, though? How many have they won?
You already know the answer. We're moving on.
0.
Miami against the Raiders. Miami's -2.5. This game is in Vegas. Chris Land, you're going to start this one.
Raiders, because we gotta.
Hey, if they lose,
all y'all take the Miami Dolphins because you're
no bullshit. Like no, like ill intention. If the Raiders lose this game, are they eliminated?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I haven't heard or done the math, but I could not imagine a situation where they could get in. I'm pretty sure the L last week was the end of it, but
the cherry on top.
Yeah. The Dolphins have something to play for, and I really want to say the Dolphins are the better team, but I won't say it. So Raiders.
I'm going Dolphins. They are the better. They are the better team. No, they are. I mean, they are. They are the better team.
They are the better team. You're not wrong.
And the Dolphins are fighting to get into the playoffs as well. I think they're on the inside looking out at this point, but that could change with a couple of bad games. And Tua has shown up in big games in his career. It's not the same game. I'm not saying, well, because Tua played well at Alabama in big games. I realize how irrelevant that is. You know, ants and balls and uncles and dicks. I get all that, but
That's cool.
I'm going with Miami this game. I think Flores has done a fantastic job. If he doesn't win Coach of the Year, it'll be almost as egregious as Kyle Trask not winning the Heisman. A little less, but almost. I'm going Miami.
Yeah, I think Miami's the pick, Hale. Miami showed last week that I think they're a legit team.
They did, really.
They're a good team.
They're really
and
good.
you know what? They play a style of
game with every reason to be not competitive. You are so right.
Miami, I think Tua is playing a style of football that Brian Flores wants his quarterback to play. Just like, hey, man.
What a great situational fit, by the way, Brian Flores and Tua.
Absolutely. Because Tua is not going to make a stupid mistake. He's not going to make a boneheaded, butt foul, throw across his body type throw. He just smile.
Or Justin Fields every other play, but go ahead.
Yeah, basically. But yeah. I think that's going to be a good fit for years to come. But just looking at this game, I do think the Dolphins defense is going to be able to shut down. It's still Mariota, isn't it, Chris?
Actually, Carr practiced it today.
He practiced it. I don't. Mariota or Gimpy Kyle. I'm gonna end up going with the Dolphins either way.
I know you are, and you know what, Nathan.
You deserve it, Chris.
No, you know what, Nathan. Change me to the Dolphins.
Oh God, you're a
Oh,
coward.
my God.
He's
Wow.
a coward.
That's some poor sportsmanship right there.
Oh, it's
That is
cowardice.
El Viking Lucha would call that chicken shit if he were here.
It may be, but the you know what? I don't hate the Dolphins too, but I mean,
Listen, I'm gonna.
I
I'm
want
gonna
the
jump
Dolphins.
in.
I think the Dolphins are gonna win.
I'm gonna jump in, and I'm gonna say the Dolphins. And the Dolphins, if they find a way into the dance, is a team that nobody in the AFC really wants to play.
They don't.
We see what the high-powered offense of the Kansas City Chiefs did against them, and I don't think anybody in the AFC has the offense like the Chiefs do. So nobody wants to play that Dolphins team. That defense is playing pretty lights
You know what?
out.
That defense is confusing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If you watch
Yeah.
it play,
Yeah.
it's like none of those teams ever get into a rhythm against them.
Right? Yeah.
You know what
It's,
I mean? And that is
To be honest, I haven't watched enough of them just because typically they're playing when the Vikings are playing, and the Dolphins really isn't a game we want to tune into.
yeah.
But like when we look over the scores, or when I'm looking through the scores just to see what's going on in the league, I'm like, yo, the Dolphins are beating the Chiefs. Like, what's going on here? And then we click it on, and we're like, Patrick Mahomes has thrown 2 picks. Like, what the hell is going on here? You know, like
right. Or
it's
or the completion ratio
it's
is 41% or something.
it's a team that you don't want to play in this playoffs because if they control the ball and they get up, you're in trouble. So give me the Dolphins.
And because their defense is kind of like wicky wacky, you feel like they could go to a cold weather climate and compete.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what
We'll
I mean?
see.
They're kind of scary.
Do that.
I love my Raiders, but I also don't want to eat a blazing hot chip.
Because you're a coward.
So,
We all agree.
okay, all right, just pick Lucas.
Lucas, who you
All right.
taking?
A couple of things. You touched on Miami's Dolphins defense. They actually took a lot away from Belichick's cover 0 blitzing defense last year. So they have a really stout secondary, and what they would do is just literally blitz all their linebackers and confuse the shit out of the quarterback. But yeah, they're not very good on run defense. But I am definitely taking Miami in this one. There's just no way. Vegas Raiders, their defense is bottom barrel. I'm not sure who's better at this point, Carr or Mariota. I would think Mariota, to be honest. But yeah,
Wow.
give me some Dolphins.
That's a hot take. That's a hot take, but I like it. So next game, moving along, the Giants and the Ravens. Baltimore minus 10.
Ravens by 1 million.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the Ravens by 1 million. I don't think I touched this spread, but I do think the Ravens are going to win this game. So I'm
I
taking
would.
Baltimore. Jordan's taking Baltimore. Who's next?
I'll go Baltimore. And if
Baltimore.
Pittsburgh's not, I've been saying for weeks now, if Baltimore's not careful, they're not going to win they're not going to make the dance. Baltimore's on pace right now to go ahead and jump Cleveland and take that division.
Nah, Cleveland's going to win the division, but Baltimore is still going to, I think, be on the outside looking in at the end.
Cleveland still plays the Jets. Let's remember that. But that
And Pittsburgh.
Baltimore could win that division. I won't be surprised if Cleveland wins it. But if that's the case, Pittsburgh could be on the outside looking in, and they were the last.
It is very possible. That is
it's
possible.
wild. I'm gonna take Baltimore though in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, Baltimore. Give me Baltimore.
Chris, who did you take?
I'm gonna say Baltimore.
Okay. I thought he was going to pick Fireball there for a second.
Listen, I thought he was too.
I got
So
some.
yeah, I
You
know.
wanna get involved?
You still have some? You still have some?
Gotta be Nighthawk or
You be whoever you feel most.
Dragon.
right
you all
now.
tell me.
You,
Dragon.
Hey, let me
'Cause
tell
you're
you about
breathing
Are we
this
going
next.
Dragon?
Let me tell you about this next game because I'm picking the Kansas City Chiefs over Atlanta.
okay.
No way.
And
Shocker.
I know
Also
it's a
not
pretty
overthunk
easy
it.
one.
Also taking Kansas City.
Yeah, sign me up.
Okay. Chris?
I'm taking Kansas City, but I'm gonna play Matt Ryan and Daly for sure.
Yeah, so I
think
think
this
Because
game
he's
is
gonna throw it
thrown all over
60
this
This game
times.
has
Oh,
the potential
God.
to outdo that Cleveland-Baltimore game, and the
I
only
think
way
Matt
it
Ryan
will.
would get 45 passing attempts plus.
Oh yeah, the only way this game outplays Baltimore-Cleveland for game of the year is if Tom Brady takes a dookie in the middle. Oh, not Tom, but if Patrick Mahomes takes a dookie in the middle of it.
Yeah, so I've said all year that Kansas City plays down to their opponents. Kansas City plays down to their opponents. Kansas City does not have a good record covering the spread against bad teams. I don't think not only do I think they're not going to cover the spread this time, I think they're going to lose this game. I think Kansas City's in cruise control right now. And I think Matt Ryan's going to eat really well. And the Falcons have shown that they are a better team than their record, and they can win games against good teams. I think Atlanta wins this game because I just don't think Kansas City preps well enough to keep them shut down on the offensive side of the ball.
Is this in Kansas City?
It is.
Kansas City.
It is, but like Chris said 2 weeks ago, outside of Denver or a coast-to-coast travel, I don't know that really makes much of a difference these days, especially today with COVID and very little fans.
It does if it's snowing and if it's cold as shit outside, and I don't know what the weather looks like in Kansas City on Sunday. But
yeah,
I mean,
I just refuse to buy the argument that like certain quarterbacks are super accustomed to playing in the snow, because like Aaron Rodgers plays in the snow maybe twice a year and he plays in Green fucking Bay. So I just don't buy the whole snow makes quarterbacks bad players argument.
Listen, if it's a monsoon, you think it's going to be a shootout and it's going to be 50 to 55. If it's a monsoon outside,
the conditions mean like.
Hey Josh, you didn't got to talk him out of it. That's cool.
Who's got the better running back? And then I think that obviously goes to the Chiefs. But I could see this game going either. Oh, not. I don't see it going either way. I think the Chiefs.
I could see Atlanta winning it, but like.
Well, they're gonna win it. And the weather argument aside, and let's not jump down another rabbit hole here. The weather argument aside, if you're telling me, well, Matt Ryan can't eat because of the weather, guess what? Pat Mahomes isn't gonna eat either. Pat Mahomes is not stupid enough to try to use his legs and get 150 yards on the ground. He probably could if he wanted to, but he's not. He's getting paid to throw the football. He's going to sit right there and throw the football. That's what he's going to do. So if it's snowing, if it's raining, doesn't matter. I don't care. They're both quarterbacks are affected the same way. And yeah, okay, Kansas City's had a better running game this year. I get it. They're also a better team overall. So I don't think for a second that Clyde Edwards-Helaire does what he's been doing at Kansas City on every other team. I mean,
Le'Veon Bell.
Whatever. Whoever's starting. Because Clyde's hurt, isn't he?
He is.
Is he back? Is he back?
He played last week.
I did mean Le'Veon Bell. Lucas, in your opinion, have you ever seen a team as good as Kansas City play down to their competition at the level that they have this year?
Yes, in the same year, actually. Pittsburgh Steelers. The same year, I feel like they were the worst 7-0 team, 8-0 team, 9-0 team, 10-0 team, and it took until week 11 to, finally burst through the dance. But I think if they get into the playoffs, they're one and done, the Steelers.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
That is so awesome. Lucas, if you would like to fly into the Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky airport, I have a place for you to stay for free, because that is the greatest thing ever as a Pittsburgh Steelers hater.
I'll hold you to it. I'll come find you, Chris.
Hey, come right now.
Come on, he'll
show the flight. We don't care.
He'll show up on the red eye at 3 a.m. and Holly will be in the kitchen making donuts.
Yes, we have plenty big house. We have a great kitchen, great entertainment. Come on down.
Well, I'll come as long as you lock up the fireballs. Then I'll come.
Lock it up. There you go.
They never let me down.
Yeah. So Lucas, start us off with the next game. Give us your breakdown. Throw us some stats. Carolina, Washington. This is an interesting game because Washington's actually playing for something here. What do you think about this game?
Wow. I would have loved to take in Washington this year. I think Carolina is on the slip. They're not going to play Christian McCaffrey at all, for sure. It's basically confirmed they're taking it as a lost season. But the recent news with Dwayne Haskins coming out with the strip club and not having a mask on really muddled things. They really had a shot at taking the division this week. And I'm still going to take them. but Dwayne Haskins has really disappointed everyone, like literally everyone.
Yeah, he's certainly had a disappointing NFL career, year to date. Here was a guy that was a stud at Ohio State and showed all the signs of being good in the NFL. But, the problem I have with a team like Washington, I mean, it's real simple. Is Alex Smith done for the year? Question mark? Chris?
I don't know.
Question mark?
No,
Okay, so Washington minus Alex Smith is really bad. Washington with Alex Smith is actually a decent football team.
Yep.
It's not because Alex Smith is per se physically talented at an exponentially greater rate than Dwayne Haskins. It's really simple. That team has zero leadership on any side of the ball with Alex Smith not on that field. So with Alex Smith gone, this is a tough one, and I'm going to take Carolina.
Yeah, I wouldn't fault you for that. I completely agree with everything you just said.
Next. Who's next?
I'll go.
Okay.
I am also going to be picking Carolina in this one.
My man.
Like you said, no Alex Smith. I think this team's completely different. While Washington does have a pretty scary front on the defense.
Yes, they do.
Offensively, I think Carolina is going to be able to shut them down. And then flipping it over to Carolina's offense, I think Teddy Bridgewater is going to be able to, use. Is it Mike Davis?
Yes.
Yes.
Correct? I thought so. Yeah, he's going to be able to use Mike Davis to his advantage. He's going to be able to use, Robbie Anderson and his weapons to get enough done in this game to win. Honestly, a sleepy game. I mean, I just don't see this game being very exciting without Christian McCaffrey and Alex Smith playing. But I will take Carolina in the upset.
And by the way, Sean Michael in the chat just asked me how that chip was tasting. Sean, if I have to eat the chip, I'm buying another one, and you're coming on our show and doing it with me because I know that you won't run from that challenge. So Sean's in it with me. So Jordan's taking Carolina. Chris, who you got in this one?
Well, here's the thing.
I was gonna pick Washington, but I don't want to eat a chip, so I'm gonna puss out and take Carolina.
Not exactly.
End of take.
Okay, sure. Just say that.
I'm kidding. Go ahead. Sorry.
I mean, I'm gonna take Carolina because I'm not sure he's gonna play quarterback. I want to take Washington, but I mean, I'm not sure who's gonna play quarterback. So I'm gonna take Carolina because it's a smart play.
I'm in that same boat, Chris.
Carolina as well for me.
I want to take Washington.
If Alex Smith was starting the game, I would take Washington. But
Agreed.
I'm not rolling the dice on the fact that it could be Dwayne Haskins.
I'm not even sure it's Haskins.
And for that
you
reason,
know what I
I'm taking
mean? So
Carolina.
you're a dumbass for taking the other side.
Except for Lucas. We love Lucas. He's not a dumbass.
I get it.
No, like I
mean,
completely agree with Chris though. Like it's such a bad situation, but they're playing
right.
For,
I mean, I didn't mean to.
They are playing for something though.
Yeah,
they are, and that's why you want to take them. Exactly, I get it.
So Josh, who are you
Carolina.
taking here?
Carolina.
Okay.
Because I don't trust Washington. I don't know who's playing quarterback. You tell me Alex Smith's playing, I'm taking Washington.
Well, yeah,
But
100%. I agree with you.
But I don't know.
I maybe take Washington if Haskins playing.
But I don't know.
He went
But
to
is
the strip
Haskins-
club last night.
Chris Land is not about to get Denver Broncoed again and watch his
Never.
pick
Hey,
just fall
he
to
has
shit.
learned his lesson. Lucas, just to fill you in, when the
They
Broncos
show
played
friends,
the Saints,
it's show business, baby.
when the Broncos played the Saints and they had their fifth string practice squad wide
I
receiver come
remember
up.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, he had taken Denver and he was so upset.
And that was a Wednesday night show.
Yeah. He was so upset that he took Denver because he's like, if I'd have known it was going to be the fifth string.
Yeah, aunts and uncles and balls and dicks.
I get it.
Hey, can I
get
let
it.
me let me shave some run time off. Is anybody picking the Jets for the upset this week?
No.
Over who? Over
Cleveland.
Browns?
No way.
No.
No way.
I almost did it last week. I almost did it last week.
I was
You
gonna
did
pick
not.
the Jets this. Right hand to God, I was gonna pick the Jets this week. Like I had it marked
Oh,
on
this
my calendar
week.
weeks ago, but
If
then
they
they beat the Rams, and I was like, oh, okay, so the Rams were gonna be the team. It was a classic whodunit. Never saw it coming. Great 10 out of 10 movie. But I don't think they're gonna get that second win against the Browns now. I think that train is dead.
Lucas,
Baker,
Hey,
the
guys,
touchdown maker.
Lucas, do you have any interesting tidbits about the Browns game before we move on?
Oh man, get ready for just the hardest slap.
So you think it's going to be a blowout?
Just yeah, I do. I think they're just gonna ground out Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubbs. I think Chris touched a little bit on Nick Chubbs earlier this show. I think that's absolutely bang on. There's no game script issues for him either. It's gonna be just a slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm going to say one thing about this game. I'm taking Cleveland, and I think, hot take, mark it, clip it, do whatever the hell you got to do. I think in the offseason, Cleveland should deal Odell and get him out of there because they have been playing like a completely different team when Baker doesn't feel like he has to feed Odell.
They can't get any. I agree with you, but they won't get anything for Odell. The jig's up.
Get a second.
The jig's up.
Get a second rounder
salary.
You'll never get it.
Looking at a fourth or fifth for Odell Beckham.
They've already paid out all his guarantees.
Listen, they need to deal him. They need to deal him because Baker's the quarterback that the Cleveland Browns want him to be. But with Odell on the field, he can't do that because he has to feed him the ball, and he pushes balls he shouldn't be doing.
I agree.
And I think they look like a completely different team without Odell.
We all agree Odell's not on the Browns as of next season, whether it's a cut or a
he
trade.
shouldn't be. He shouldn't be.
Well, they're not going to cut him. They're not going to cut him. That would be a waste of cap space. But that being said,
they don't have to cut him.
I know they don't. They can just put him right on the bench and he'll quit because he's a crybaby. Next game, is anyone going to take Jacksonville over Chicago?
No.
I don't.
No.
Jacksonville
Lucas?
doesn't have anything to play for.
No
They
way.
got Trevor Lawrence
No
locked
way.
up right now.
Lucas, what do you got for us on this game? Anything interesting?
I mean, Allen Robinson might be out. That might damper Mitchell Trubisky, who I touched on
Trisket.
earlier. Yeah, Trisky. But James Robinson is trending towards being out as well. There's no one on the Jacksonville side you ever want. Yeah, just nothing going on there, to be honest.
Yeah, I think Chicago winning. Chicago winning is a lock. Trubisky's bad. Chicago's not good, but they're just better than the Jags. And at this point, the Jags aren't going to play. I understand. The Jags aren't going to play and try to win because they really, really need Trevor Lawrence. And going to the Jags is just going to be a perfect way for him to be a 3-and-out in the NFL. Next game, Bengals-Texans. I'm going to start this one. Bengals, because the Texans don't care anymore. They just don't care. And the Bengals are having fun. The Bengals had something to play for on Monday, and they beat the Steelers. So now they've got something to show them that, hey, if we just go out and have fun, and by the way, Gio Bernard ate on Monday, and I have been the biggest Gio Bernard fan for years and years and years. I own 2 Bengals jerseys. 2. Terrell Owens, no shock there, and Gio Bernard. It's the only jersey I've wanted since Gio's been on the team. It is true. It is 100% true. T.O.
lived in this area.
T.O. and Gio Bernard. Gio Bernard ate on Monday. He's going to eat on Sunday. Deshaun Watson is a great quarterback. But no Will Fuller. The Texans are done. Their season's gone. This is a meaningless game for everybody involved. The Bengals are going to go out and have fun, and they're going to win this game.
I think the Texans believe in their coach more than the Bengals do. I think it's really easy to get hyped up for a game.
Believe in their coach. Their coach.
Listen, let him make him pick.
It's really
Let him make his
easy.
pick.
It's really easy to get hyped up for a game against the Steelers when it seems like every year there are cheap shots galore in that game, dished out from either side. It gets chippy. It's an emotional game. I don't think they.
The Bengals didn't win that game because it was close and chippy. They beat the brakes off the Steelers.
No. I'm
they
saying
beat the
that's
brakes
what
off the
got them out of
Steelers
bed.
because they were fired up because
Yes.
Juju was out there dancing on their
Exactly,
logo.
and I don't
so they
think
got
that the
pissed
Texans.
off, and they came out with a fire under their ass, and they're not going to do that against Houston.
Yeah, I think it's really easy to give the fire up speech for Zach Taylor when basically he just plays clips from like Vontez Belfic taking cheap shots. Oh, my bad. Juju Smith-Schuster still taking cheap shots back on Vontez Belfic, excuse me. Not so easy to get him hyped up for this Texans game. I think the Texans win this one, but it could end up being a fun game.
I'm going to go with the better. I'm going to go with the better team right now, and that's Houston with the better quarterback. Similar to what Jordan said, he kind of stole my thunder. It's a lot easier to get fired up for a division rival, a team you completely despise and hate in the Pittsburgh Steelers, and come out and hit hard and play hard, even if you only got 2 wins all year.
It's a bad argument because Houston's had Cincinnati's number and they want to beat Houston. But go ahead.
They're not a division rival.
Okay, but Houston's had Cincinnati's number. My point is this:
Houston is Cincy's daddy. Is that what you're saying?
Correct, in the playoffs especially.
Okay.
Remember when Tyler Yates beat them in the playoffs? Yeah, that was a bad year.
In Cincinnati.
No, it was that game was in Houston.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
So, and I'll say this, and then we'll move on to Lucas and Chris for this game. The Bengals beat the brakes off the Steelers, and the Steelers are a much, much, much better team than Houston. Much better team than Houston. The Steelers are not the 11-0 team that everybody thought. They are not who we thought they were. However, they are still a much better team than Houston. Okay, and the Bengals had fun. You know, there's the meme going around of the quarterback on the ground smiling like it's almost hilarious. The Bengals had fun. They got nothing to lose. Go out, play your asses off, try to win a damn game. They've still got weapons. They've still got some guys who can play ball on defense. The Bengals are going to win this game. Anybody picks otherwise is wrong. Chris, if you don't want the chip, you pick Cincinnati. Go ahead.
If I don't want the chip, go ahead.
Shawn Michaels says the Bengals can't beat Houston ever. Give me the Texans. You're a traitor and a coward, Sean.
Attaboy, Sean.
I'm taking the Texans.
You're also a coward and a traitor.
Yeah, Nathan, I'm actually kind of surprised because the spread is -9. It's too high, and Houston played really well last week. I don't think the Bengals can replicate what they did last week. Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. The Steelers had what? Like Juju had negative fantasy points. Chase Claypool finished with less than 5. It's not.
It was a bad game.
It was
for the
extraordinary.
Steelers. They didn't show up. It was terrible. If those same teams play each other 10 more times, the Steelers win 8 of them. If Juju doesn't dance on the logo before the game, the Steelers probably walk in.
No, they don't. No, they don't. That Steelers does not. They do not beat. They do not. I'm telling you right now, if the Bengals are completely healthy with Joe Burrow, this Bengals team beats that Steelers team 7 out of 10 times.
Guess what?
They're not healthy. They're not healthy. Yeah, we will, and the Bengals will sweep them next year.
If we're gonna give you Joe Burrow back, and next year, and it'll be different teams. But if we're giving you Joe Burrow back, we should also probably give Pittsburgh its defense that I think.
Good. Let them have it. Don't care. We dropped 30. Ryan Finley dropped 30 points on the fucking Steelers. Ryan Finley.
And the Steelers are on an all-time fall right now.
Gio
Stop.
scored twice. That's 14. So.
Come on, man. You know what the hell I'm talking about.
I'm not trying to take the win away from you, Nathan.
Yes, you are, you bastard.
I'm not trying to take it away.
Lucas, Lucas, you may have said this. Are you taking Houston?
I'm definitely taking Houston. I'm sorry, man.
You're not welcome back. Next game. I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. Lucas, you've been great. We'd love to have you anytime. Next game. I'm gonna start this one because I'm high on this team right now. Indianapolis against the Steelers. Initial line was Pittsburgh -2.5. There's no way that Pittsburgh wins this game. Not possible. No way. Indianapolis is playing as well as anybody. They're on a fast track to an AFC Championship game against the Chiefs, unless unless Tennessee manages to win that division and Indianapolis ends up playing Kansas City in the second round, in which case I still think Indianapolis wins. Put your money, boys and girls, on Indianapolis to win the AFC and the Super Bowl. I'm going Colts against the Steelers this week.
I'm also going Colts, and that's where we stop agreeing with each other. I think the Colts probably lose to the Chiefs in the second round, but I agree with you.
No shot.
That game will be interesting, and I like that you're so high on the Colts. I think that the defense is so good. Phillip Rivers has kind of stopped, being god awful at football, so that's nice.
Can someone tell Chris Paxitas that every time he Facebook messages me to tell me that the Bengals suck, it dings onto the stream and I'm ready to beat his ass?
Oh, I'm gonna watch
The
that.
reason he says that is because Chris Paxitas messaged us and said Nathan's fandom has blinded him.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I want to watch the fight.
He also said that Odell should stay on the Browns, but we're
Right, and that's where I started ignoring him, was when he said something so stupid. Anyway, Josh, what do you think about this game?
Do you really want to know?
No. Chris, go ahead.
I'm gonna take the Colts.
Oh.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, I guess I'm the only one who's taking Steelers this week.
No,
Listen,
it's not that I don't want to, but
He's scared of the chip because he's a coward.
Listen,
That's fine.
Listen,
yeah,
I'm gonna let Lucas finish, and then I'm gonna give my pick.
Pittsburgh
Go ahead,
hasn't
Lucas.
given me anything to really push on. You can't find any traction, so that's what I'm saying.
Lucas, give us your take.
I'm taking the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think they're going to have like the one few rebound games for the
I
stretch of the season.
get that too. That's what I was afraid of.
I think they're going to lose to Cleveland next week. They're just going to straight up lose to Cleveland next week. But I'm going to take Steelers this week. They're going to rebound a little better.
Lucas, I think, and I'm not. Hang on, let me rephrase this because I was probably about to sound like an asshole. I believe that you are wrong because I think their chance of a slump buster game was the Bengals, and
Thank
they
you.
were
I agree.
asleep at the
I agree.
wheel, and the Bengals I think woke them up, but unfortunately they were awoken by like a 2-win team.
Yeah,
Whenever they should have been awoken by the Bills,
That is so perfect.
Washington. And
Absolutely.
I think they're
Perfect,
losing out.
Jordan.
I would love to see them miss out on the playoffs and Baltimore steal
Oh,
that
God.
spot.
So would I.
Oh my God, that would be the funniest
I
thing
would
that's ever
cabbage
happened in
patch
history.
on
I'm not kidding.
YouTube
I might
if they
buy
miss the
everybody
playoffs.
bottles of
I will not
champagne,
lie.
and we might virtually celebrate Pittsburgh going 11-0 and missing the playoffs.
Yes.
Virtually
Because that
celebrate. I would get COVID to celebrate that with people in person. I'm just saying.
I
promise
think
you.
that might be a
I
COVID
promise you,
celebration.
I will build a bonfire and YouTube the dance if Pittsburgh misses the playoffs.
I just have to say, because Josh hasn't made his pick, and I'm going to let him go. But
No,
first
no,
I
no,
have to
no, no.
say-
Josh doesn't get to pick this game. We moved
Oh,
on.
yeah,
He
I
had his
forgot.
chance.
Nathan just challenged Chris Paxitas to a shirtless front yard fight in our group chat, and I don't know what's going on, but now I see Chris's name
Hey,
on my and I don't-
tarps off, boys.
hot.
Tarps off. Let's go.
So
Lucas
on this
said kinda
game,
hot.
oh God, that is. Listen, Lucas, if you saw our friend, he is a 30-year-old Greek.
Easy. We don't have to talk about Chris. He's a nice lady. Move on.
Yes. Okay. Anyways, this game.
I see it.
This game, I'm going to take. Hang on.
Pick the game, clown.
I'm taking Pittsburgh because Mike Tomlin is going to light a fire under that team.
Mike Tomlin is the
Shut
reason that Pittsburgh
up.
underperforms.
Can I make a pick?
No.
Make a pick, please. Okay. I don't interrupt you during your picks
Yes, you do.
when you're wrong. Anyways,
Oh.
Mike Tomlin, they got embarrassed by Cincinnati on Monday night. I mean, absolutely embarrassed. This is going to be a bounce back game. It's in Pittsburgh. Phil Rivers does not play well in the cold.
Yeah.
I'm taking Pittsburgh.
Hell yeah.
You're not
Team
just wrong,
Pittsburgh.
you're stupid, and you're ugly, just like your mother.
Well, she's
You're the
stupid,
one that looks
so-
like your mother, you clown.
I have her nipples, and nothing else.
Stop. Facebook's going to make me shut it down. Next game is Denver and the
Stop.
Chargers. And I'm
You
going to
will stop right now.
let Lucas start because he's a Chargers
You will
fan.
hit pause on everything we have ever done.
Oh man. Okay. Chargers,
Please,
Broncos.
Jordan, repeat
No.
the last 40 seconds.
No. You can watch it tomorrow, Chris, on Facebook
Oh
at
my
4 Laps
God.
Down. Home of the best, most uncensored football show on the planet. Lucas, you were saying.
Man, this is so tough. I love LA's talent. I love Justin Herbert, what he has become, but I hate the coaching staff. I hate Anthony Lynn. I think that's the only drag on this team, realistically.
Did you think Justin Herbert was going to be this good?
No, I had him absolutely.
Thank you for being honest.
Like he was a bust in my top 150. I didn't have him anywhere close to the top 25 picks. But I'm gonna go with Denver Broncos here. I think they're a little more battle tested. I think they're a little more disciplined. LA Chargers, man, they find a way to shoot themselves in the foot, and it's getting closer.
Or puncture themselves in the lung with a needle.
Yeah, like it's crazy to me.
That needle may have been the greatest thing that happened to that franchise.
Yeah, somebody that benefits from Justin Herbert's trust fund paid off Tyrod Taylor's doctor. It's all I can say.
Yeah. But yeah, absolutely. I will go with the Broncos here.
I'm also taking the Broncos. One reason and one reason only, and I think Lucas is going to appreciate this. I would take the Chargers outright if Justin Showboat did not cut his hair and look like a fifth-grade virgin. If he still had those luscious locks,
Jordan, he doesn't look like you did last
like,
year. Come on.
Like Samson drawing power from his hair, he would win this game single-handedly, and the Chargers would probably be an undefeated football team. Unfortunately,
God.
He didn't, and I'm also going with the Denver Broncos because I do think that I think they've got some good talent, and I agree with you that I think the Chargers find ways to lose games.
Yeah. I think after he had his haircut, they've been 0-3 or something.
I'm telling you, man, the biblical story of Samson, where he drew his power from his hair, and then they cut his hair, and he lost his power. It is Justin damn Showboat in the flesh. We are watching a miracle. We are watching God send a message right now. All right, this is why I don't change my panties.
Hold on. Of everything wrong in the world, you think God's worried about Justin Herbert?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Josh, what do you think about this game?
Not only Justin Herbert, but Jordan and his thong panties. I mean, let's move on from that point.
Well, sure.
I'm going Chargers. I don't like the Broncos. I'm going Chargers. I'm going to be the odd man. I'm going to go with the Chargers. I think they're a better team. They have more weapons than the Broncos. So give me the Chargers.
Chris, what do you think?
I'm going with the Go Chargers.
Okay. I'm also taking the Chargers. I'm going to sneeze. Damn.
God bless you, young man. God bless you.
It's COVID. Just kidding. It's not. I'm going with the Chargers because they're unquestionably the better team. Herbert is a good quarterback, and he's going to be around for a long time. Surprising to me, but he's going to be around a long time. Next game, Philly and Dallas. I'm going to start this one. This is going to be a barn burner because these two teams are both bad. They hate each other, but Jalen Hurts is going to win this game for Philly, and it's this is where the Eagles fans adopt him as one of their own, and this is going to be a defining moment in Jalen Hurts' career on Sunday. Philly wins this game.
I 100% agree with you.
Good to know. Lucas, what do you got, bud?
I'm just taking a look at the injury report for Philadelphia. I know 2 weeks back they had just an absolute body bag part 2 in the game. It seems like a lot of people on defense for the Philadelphia Eagles are still uncertain. Rodney McLeod, Darius Slay, Avonte Maddox, TJ Edwards. I really like Jalen Hurts. I think he's a really good fantasy play this week, but I don't think they win the game. I'm going to go with Dallas Cowboys here.
Okay. Fair enough. Josh, what do you got?
Oh, man. What's the spread in this?
It's very close. Maybe a pick 'em.
I was going to say, it's probably a pick 'em.
It is Philly -2.5.
Okay.
Oh, so that line has moved.
It started out as even.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Dallas. I also like Justin Hurts. I thought he looked good last week. when we
Justin
watched
Hurts.
him. Not Justin Hurts, Jalen Hurts.
He doesn't even drink, by the way.
Oh Lord,
What'd he say?
he doesn't even drink. We got 2 games left to we're over 3 hours, so I'm gonna cut Josh off.
I'm taking the
We have
Cowboys.
4 games left.
No, we don't. 3 games left.
Oh, 3 games, my bad.
Yeah, it's just math, not magic.
That's my line.
That's not your line. Chris, who you taking? Delayed reaction,
I'm
man.
taking Dallas.
Okay. Good, because I need a couple games on you. Next game, Rams, Seahawks. You guys discuss. I'll be back.
I'm going Rams because they just got embarrassed by the Jets. That's my motto this week: is the teams that got embarrassed are going to bounce back. So I'm going to take the Rams just because. How do you lose to the freaking Jets? I mean, if that's not motivation to come out and play your ass off this week and prove something, I don't know what is. It's a divisional game. I think the Rams have a better offense than the Seahawks, and also have a better defense. So I'm going to go with the better
Bounce
team.
back on the road. I get it. Okay.
But they got to bounce back. I mean, you just got embarrassed by the Jets. The winless Jets.
Let me lay some knowledge on
I feel you, Jordan. What do you feel like?
So the Seahawks' big thing earlier in the year, right? Historically bad defense, transcendent offense. Well, the offense, while it hasn't necessarily stayed at that pace, still has those weapons, and the running backs are healthy now. And since adding Carlos Dunlap from the Bengals, do you know that they're like top 5 in almost every defensive category? Like, their defense has been playing incredibly well the last like month, and it's not getting talked about all that much.
Okay, who have they played? I know Washington's one of them, and
So
Washington
he's
doesn't have a
taking
high-powered
Seattle.
offense.
I am taking
Yeah.
Seattle, but I know they've also they beat the Dolphins.
Okay, their offense is an elite.
I know we're not.
I don't have their schedule pulled up, and we don't have the time to look into it. But since adding Carlos Dunlap, their defense has went from being very, very bad to very, very good. And I think
Dunlap's a
having pass
beast,
rush-
that's why.
Yeah, the helmet's called him Dunlap.
Get up
Dunlap
the-
has done
get up
very
the,
well for this
sticks.
defense. So I'm going with Seattle in this one because I think their defense will do enough to keep Jared Goff at bay, and their offense will be able to, just do what their offense does with Metcalf and Carlson and all the boys.
I'm
All right,
going.
cool.
I'm going Rams.
Hold on, Nate, get up everybody's picks from when you left.
Well, hold on a second. I'm going Rams in this game because it's a revenge game, and I do think the Rams are a better team. I think the Rams have something to play for, as does Seattle, so it's not like this is meaningless on one side of the ball. I think the Rams win this game. I think it's close, but I think LA wins. Who did everybody else take?
I took LA.
I took Seattle. And Chris
I
and
took
Lucas
Seattle.
have not picked yet.
I'm going to take LA here. I mean,
LA.
5 or 7 over Pete Carroll. Just gonna go with a safer pick.
And I do not think. I think that Seattle has been successful in spite of Pete Carroll, not because of Pete Carroll. But go ahead.
You know what? It's weird. Pete Carroll was always the problem. You know, he wanted to run the ball a lot. He didn't want to let Russ throw, but they did let Russ throw in the early season. And
Yeah.
he
He performed.
during the middle of the season, he was actually not great. He was actually making a lot of mistakes, like protection call-outs, blitz call-outs. He was making mistakes. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Russ is still a really good quarterback. I wouldn't bet against him.
Yeah, Russ is a good quarterback, but the reason I am going to bet against him is because he's been in the lower third of QBR in the NFL among quarterbacks in the last 4 weeks. It's been interesting because Russell Wilson is going to go down as one of those quarterbacks that outplayed his physical abilities consistently throughout his career. A Tom Brady type guy, not on Tom Brady's level. Don't make that distinction, or don't make that confusion rather. But Russell Wilson is a very serviceable quarterback from a physical standpoint who outplays it. He plays better than that at a higher level than what he should, all things considered. Right. The reverse of that. is a guy like Carson Palmer, Jamarcus Russell, even to an extent Peyton Manning. Based on Peyton Manning's physical talents, he should have gone down as the best quarterback of all time. Not even close. I'm sorry. His physical talent plus his intellect, but he only ended up winning 2 Super Bowls. I think Peyton Manning was more talented physically than Tom Brady, but he just didn't put it all together like Brady did. Russell Wilson's got the opposite problem. He outplays his physical talents. But this year, he's just not really been up to snuff. And a guy like that who can't rely on his physical abilities to carry him when his head's not right is going to suffer the way that Wilson has. That's why I'm taking LA. So next game, Tennessee, Green Bay. Green Bay.
Chris didn't pick.
Yeah, he did. He took Seattle.
Did he?
Seattle.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
okay.
took Seattle.
I didn't hear it. My fault.
Look at the graphic, clown. The pick's up there.
I don't have it pulled up.
Well, that's your problem.
I have
That's
it
a you
pulled up.
problem. Next game, Jordan, start us off. It's Tennessee and Green Bay in Lambeau Field.
I told you guys this last week. Green Bay can't stop the run.
Green
And I
Bay
think
can't stop the run.
I think Tennessee is going to ride Derrick Henry into the grave in this game.
This is a family show.
I think it's going to be very similar to what we saw San Francisco do to them last year when they were a healthy football team that went to the Super Bowl. I think Tennessee is going to end up winning this game. I do think it's going to be a close game, and I think it's going to be a hell of a game. But at the end of the game, I really think it's just going to come down to Green Bay's offense can't get a stop to save their life against, for my money, the best running back in the NFL, and Tennessee pulls this one out.
Well, I'll go second. Green Bay's offense can't get a stop because they play offense and not defense.
You know what
So
I mean, clown ass.
that is correct.
Ants and balls and dicks and uncles.
Justin
But-
Fields
but
is such a good
Listen,
quarterback.
hey, at least I'm not out here giving predictions on a game that happened, yesterday.
You shut your mouth. That was one time.
I'm taking Tennessee in this game as well. Derrick Henry, I think, rushes for over 150 yards in this. A couple tutties, and Tennessee pulls this one out.
Lucas, what do you think, bud?
Yeah, I completely agree with the guys who picked Tennessee. I just want to touch on Ryan Tannehill and the season he's been having. He's been incredibly proficient. I think it comes down to whoever actually has the ball last. I feel like Titans can build a lead faster. And for that reason, I'm going to take the Titans. I think they win this week.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a smart pick. But I'm going Green Bay a little bit because of the chip challenge. I'm not going to lie about that. I think top to bottom, Green Bay's a better team, but I think Tennessee matches up well against Green Bay. It won't shock me at all if Tennessee wins this game. But I think Green Bay's up to the challenge. I think this is where we really find out how good is Buck in these types of situations. This is a preview of a potential Super Bowl pairing. Tennessee, I think, has the capability to go far in the playoffs. I think they benefit if they end up winning the division and are the 4 seed as opposed to a 6 seed in the wild card. But it would not surprise me at all, especially if Indianapolis and Kansas City end up playing in a second round and Tennessee's a 4 seed. It would not shock me to see Tennessee in the Super Bowl after beating an Indianapolis team in the AFC Championship game. So I think this is where you look at a team like Green Bay, who does struggle against the run. Everything you guys have said is true. The matchup is certainly favorable here for Tennessee if you look at that side of the coin. But I think Green Bay's a better team top to bottom, and I think Green Bay's going to win this game. Chris?
You know what? I mean, I'm just like on both sides of the. I can make an argument for either side. I'm definitely.
Yeah, because you could see Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball over the field and just running it up, and Tennessee having to play from behind. But then on the flip side, you could see Tennessee running the ball down Green Bay's throat, controlling the clock, and Rodgers only gets 7 possessions all game. It's a tough pick, but
Well, and also it messes up every DFS lineup too, because you could see it going that way.
Correct.
And then
You could
I
spend the
mean,
money for Rodgers and then not spend it on Henry and win
right,
that way, or you could not.
and give up 50% of your payroll, so it's just really tough.
Yeah.
It's a bad situation.
So who you picking?
But
I can't figure it out.
Well, the producers are in my ear saying Chris Land is past his bedtime, so he needs to pick the game.
Hey Chris, quick question. If
Yep.
you're doing DFS, would you consider something like Aaron Jones and bringing it back with Corey Davis and Tannehill staff?
Man, do you think that game's going to shoot out? Is the question that you come up with that when you put that lineup together?
Right.
Is that game going to shoot out? And it could.
It could definitely run up. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's crazy though. This game could be a shootout where both teams are running the ball. This could very well be a game where you have two huge days from running backs, because Tennessee's front seven really isn't all that. Their defense really isn't all that. So this could be a game where Aaron Jones and Derrick Henry, even though the skull shows 42 to 35, both running backs end up being just absolute monsters in fantasy.
And I agree with you. I think it could happen. And if that's the case, that favors Green Bay because Green Bay has more weapons and more options offensively than Tennessee. Tannehill's been fine. Tannehill's had his career year. That dude's going to get paid. Trust me, he's going to get paid. But Derrick Henry is the staple of Tennessee, and Aaron Rodgers is still Aaron Rodgers. And I almost said Devonta Freeman.
Devontae Adams.
Devonta, thank you.
I was about to say, do they
Thank
have
you.
the better? Do they have the better quarterback? I won't argue that. Do they have the better weapons? They have Adams.
I don't think they do.
Then it's maybe Tanyan.
Well, no, it's not Tanyan after that.
What? Who?
MVS?
Here's the problem, guys. Every
Aaron Jones.
matrix says
Aaron Jones.
But Aaron
Hey,
Jones ain't better than
Tennessee.
Derrick Henry.
and every brain says take Green Bay.
Yeah. So who you going with, bub? Just pick one.
Tennessee. I'm just gonna take Tennessee.
Just pick one. It ain't hard.
He picked Tennessee.
I would
Moving
take
on.
Tennessee.
I know he did. Next.
Now we're to the part of the show where our last pick of the evening. We want to thank everybody at home for tuning in with us tonight. We got way off the rails tonight. There's going to be some demerits handed down for conduct unbecoming of the show. But we'll get to there. We'll get to that in a minute.
Chris.
We'll get to that. Yeah, Chris, you loser.
Wasn't me.
It was you. It was all you. I'm talking only about you. I'm just kidding. Appreciate everybody tuning in tonight.
There.
We had, I know you don't. That's the problem. We had a lot of people tune in tonight. We had a lot of fun tonight. I drank a lot of Fireball. A lot of Busch Light. Only one pit stop though, so not that much Busch Light. But that being said, this is part of the night where we do our final takes of the evening. Chris, you've never gone first on the last pick before, so I'm going to invite you to give us your final take of the evening and make your last pick.
What's the game?
It is Buffalo and New England on Monday night.
Oh,
In New England.
In New England, but Buffalo is favored by 7. 6.5.
You know
It
what?
should be
I'm
favored
taking
by 10.
Buffalo to win the game, but there's no way they would lay the points.
Fair enough. Give us your final thought of the evening while you're at it.
You know what? We're getting close to the end of the year, and I mean, we end up with Buffalo and New England, which is kind of a changing of the guard. Buffalo is getting ready to probably own that division for probably the next 3 or 4 years, and the
Forget
Patriots.
Miami.
Well, you know what though, and I get the Miami thing, but I just think that Josh Allen is that next.
Hey, Sean,
guy
have a
to-
good night, bud. See ya. Sean signing out.
You know what I
See ya,
mean?
Sean.
I feel like Josh Allen is the next answer for the next 8 years. That's why I was only giving like Buffalo like 3 or 4 years. So the changing of the guard up north, I feel like is now Buffalo's, and congratulations to them.
Yeah. Josh, final thought of the evening?
final thought of the evening, as always. Thanks, Lucas, for coming on, man.
Hey, man, Lucas, you were awesome,
Yo,
dude. Thank
this
you.
such
has
a
been
pleasure to be on, man.
this has been a long night for sure, one of our longer. But Chris kind of stole my thunder. It's the changing of the guard. I'm taking Buffalo in this game. They're still playing for something. New England was mathematically eliminated from the playoffs last week. It's the Belichick era is still there. I don't know. I don't know if it's changing of the guard completely though, because New England did have 5 starters on defense opt out because of COVID. Cam Newton obviously isn't the answer up there. They're going to get a quarterback, somebody serviceable. You have
Kyle
guys like
Trask.
Kyle Trask, Carson Wentz is out there. Sam Darnold may be available. Like there's options for him to go after. And I'm anxious to see what happens in the offseason. Like Jordan alluded to earlier, it's going to be a fun offseason for sure to see what moves are made and what teams pick up what players. But it's going to be a fun offseason. Be careful on your betting slips because there's teams out there that literally have nothing to play for. They're just out there to show up and collect their paychecks. And, we kind of saw that last week. So, other than that, though, good show, guys. Everybody have a good night.
Thanks, Josh. Jordan?
Thanks, Josh.
Yeah, Lucas, to second what Josh said, thanks so much for coming on tonight. It's been really fun. Once Load the Box moves to like draft only content, once the Vikings Geo's done, I would love to swap contact info with you and have you on to talk about some of these draft picks because
Yeah.
we love the draft season, man, and you were a lot of fun to have on, and you definitely know your shit, so that's really awesome. I'm taking Buffalo in this game. I think it's going to be a good game. I think the Patriots are holding on by a thread to that. Last week I alluded to them being being the dad of that division and how it's tough to beat your dad in a pickup game. No matter how good you get at basketball, it's always just tough to beat the old man. And I think New England, this week it's finally over. I agree with Chris. It's time for Buffalo to take over. I will use my final thought to say I think the Josh Allen for MVP train kicked off a couple weeks ago, and I think it's going to be in full effect. I don't know what the odds are for Allen to win the MVP, but I might be taking them because he's making a late season push that I don't think can be ignored with the way him and Diggs are connecting right now. So that's kind of my final thought is just Josh Allen has looked incredible this season. I've been high on him for 2 years now. I really liked him coming out, and I think that comparison that I love to make is, he's Patrick Mahomes light. He's not quite Mahomes, but, he's a mobile guy with a cannon arm who likes to play it loose. And, watch out for Buffalo come playoff time because I know it's tough to, just be elite all of a sudden whenever you haven't been. But Buffalo's got a dangerous offense, and their defense ain't too shabby to boot. So, that's my final thoughts. I'll take Buffalo in that final game and look forward to seeing how things play out this week.
Awesome. Lucas?
Thanks, Jordan.
Yeah. Yes. I'm definitely taking Buffalo in this one. And guys, I want to say it's been a lot of fun just coming onto the show, just chewing some fat about football and obviously talking some shit about the Bengals.
Easy.
And for what it's worth,
How many Hindis did you get through?
Sorry.
How many Hindis did you get through? How many beers did you end up drinking?
Two.
Two.
Only
Okay.
two.
All right.
Yeah.
That's rookie numbers. You'll have to double that by the next time.
I know. Chris was drinking for me, to be honest.
Yes, he was. He's drinking for all of us.
I absolutely am. I'm going to do another shot of Fireball just to help you out.
You should not, but you're going to. So, go ahead, Luke. Sorry.
Just to
You're
drop
welcome.
another bomb and see what happens. The whole thing with Kirk Cousin. If we're gonna return to it for a second, I think it's more egregious paying Dalvin Cook that kind of money and extending his contract
Let's rip off the Band-Aids.
to Kirk Cousins. That's just what I
Thank
think.
you.
I think paying RB that much money is just so stupid. In
Thank
terms
you.
of the matchup, Buffalo versus New England. Buffalo, man, what a great organization with a great coach. Every step of the way. I mean, Josh Allen had mechanical problems coming out of college and in his first 2 years. And this year, they really helped him. They supported him and they let him do what's comfortable to him. So you'll see that when he's throwing and he'll try to do a little hop step that wasn't prevalent in his first 2 years. It was always in his kit, but it wasn't fully developed. And the Buffalo organization actually took that out, developed it, and made him a better passer that way. So every time he drops
that is a large
yeah
explanation right there. Good for you, man, because that's the stuff that's next level, by the way.
Yo, shout out to this Buffalo organization though, like getting behind the quarterback. It's not something that every organization would do. Absolutely, Buffalo. I agree the division is going to be theirs for the next couple of years, at least half decade. Love them. Love McDermott. Love Josh Allen. Love the organization.
Yeah.
They deserve.
That's your pocket right there too, right? Being in Canada, that's kind of your.
Yeah, they're Bills fans up there because you know what? If there's anything that I've learned,
love it,
if there's
but the breakdown of the mechanics is the next level.
Well, not only that, but if there's any fan base that's comparable to a bunch of hockey knuckleheads, it's the Bills Mafia, right?
It's actually true.
There is nothing.
Bills Mafia is awesome.
The Bills Mafia is great. Bills Mafia is a group I'm a part of on Facebook. They do let us stream our show into their group. Thank you. It's a large group. I'm talking like 90,000 people. That's not a meme. Bills Mafia is great. We appreciate everybody in the Bills Mafia. But I mean, I just when you think of Canada, right? I think of Justin Trudeau because he sucks. I think of Letterkenny because it's not that funny, and then I think of hockey. And just burying your melon and deacon the Tindy top corn. And the Bills Mafia gets up in there for me with that. With this game, I struggle with it because I really want to pick the Bills here. Because there's really no upside to picking the Patriots. They're probably going to lose. This pick just isn't as easy for me. I don't know.
Go ahead, do it.
I'm going to go Bills because I do think the Bills are the better team. But this is not an easy pick for me. If this was the third game of the week that we were picking and I didn't already have a large swath of picks different from other folks tonight, I might actually go out on a limb and pick the Patriots, but I can't do it. And with that being said, I want to thank everybody for joining us. Josh, Chris, Lucas, thank y'all for hanging out with us tonight. We appreciate it. Thanks for coming on the show. And
hey, Lucas, thanks for showing up, man. I appreciate it, man.
So much fun. I would love to come back on the show again.
I'm gonna connect with you for real.
Yeah.
On some daily stuff. I feel like we can help each other.
So we'll make that connection. Chris, have a good night. I'm gonna launch you. And Lucas, I just want to let you know we appreciate you coming on the show. Thanks for being an important part of RotoRob.com. Thanks for RotoRob.com for being a good supporter here of us at 4 Laps Down. I appreciate everything, all the support from RotoRob. Lucas, thanks for coming on the show again and bringing what you can to the show. We'll definitely get you back during the playoffs. So we've gone. This is week 16. We've had 15 different guests come on the show, and we're going to try to get as many as we can back during the playoffs. The pick'ems won't matter for the chip challenge in the playoffs, so it's just about having a good time, having fun, drinking a lot of beer, and talking football. So, Lucas, we'll definitely have you back. Awesome. Much love, brother. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too.
See you, man.
So much. A big shout out to Rob.
Yep. See you, Lucas.
Peace.
So, with that being said, guys, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. It's been a great night for us here at 4 Laps Down. Been a great night here on 4th and Long. We're coming to the close of an epic season. We started week 1. We I don't know what to say. I thank these guys so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank all of our viewers, all of our watchers, all of our listeners. We appreciate you guys tuning in every week. There's a lot of you out there, which shocks the shit out of me. We're not that cool. We're not that entertaining. We're not that interesting. But you guys, you tune in every week, Wednesday, Friday, Thursday. Doesn't matter what day we go live. You're here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. 4 Laps Down gear. Shirts behind me. One of them fell. Another one's hanging up back there. We got shirts for order, short sleeve, long sleeve hoodies, dry fit material. They're fantastic. They're super comfortable. You'll wear it all the time. reach out to us if you're interested in ordering one. Again, we'll be back Wednesday next week. It's another holiday week, and we'll be wrapping up the season on Wednesday, December 30th. We'll be picking a couple more College Bowl games, so tune in and make sure you follow along. With that being said, guys, much love. Appreciate all of you. Have a good night.